Is it Jungle Skarner? Which Skarner will we see today? Oh, we've got the Shen locked in here for HLE.
So this is something that we've seen in LCK and a little bit in LPL as an answer into the
For
style.
Secret Whales, it's really not been the international outcomes they've wanted so far.
Domestically, though, they've been insane as, oh, Dire.
Oh, Delight with a taunt flash right on top of Dire. The flash away, but it won't be enough. First blood over to Zeka. All right, let's see who comes out on top. His toe can burst down the large chicken. Kanavi makes his way into the mid lane instead, slowing down D-Ray. It's disaster in the mid lane for Secret.
Dominant in the LCP, but unfortunately haven't quite been able to get success yet as Delight's top lane.
Yeah, Delight making another move towards a solo lane. This time it's Pun who's in trouble. Zeus just needs a little bit more damage to take him down. One last auto attack seals the deal, and HLE make it a 3-0 game.
This game, and Delight has been everywhere, and this is kind of what we were talking about coming in, is Delight now having access to Engage is a weird one maybe for Shen, but like
we'll still call it Engage.
Yeah,
sure.
Having these playmaking champions more so than the enchanters are perfect for him, and already getting active on the map. Like I think this is my favorite part of watching the way metas develop for MSI, like seeing all these roaming timers from the supports and like really playing on the edge of where they can be on the map has been so sick to see.
Ooh, Eddie down to 300 HP. Gumayushi flashing forward aggressively on the Ziggs, forcing the return flash. Now Kanavi could be in a little bit of danger. Flashes away from decimating Smash, but Team Secret Whales is making a 4-man play after the Skarner. Petrifying Gaze to try to get one back from Zeka, but it's not enough. Kanavi falls. And
at this stage, so they move Pun down in the hopes that he can help out. But Kanavi, oh, hang on. Zeus.
Right back to live. Zeus under pressure. Delight makes his way into the fight, trying to protect his top laner, as now both of them try to get out. Focus onto Zeus here for the Jays, but Kanavi has arrived. His toe's already got the first kill as Zeus dies. Now Kanavi's got to be a little bit careful. There's not a lot of damage here on the HLE side.
International competition, and especially for Gumayushi, like this is his 5th time in a row at MSI. Like it's got to feel different with a different jersey on, but we'll have to see if he can maybe find that first win for himself at this tournament.
Down here in the bottom lane, Eddie under pressure yet again from Gumayushi, who continues chasing him down here in the 1v1. Guma, he doesn't care about being weak-sided. He's still stronger than the other weak-sided carries, so he's going to play aggressively. Kanavi invading the enemy red buff here at the same time, trying to scare his toe away. Delight right behind Kanavi. His toe goes in, secures his own red, and gets over the wall as BA is waiting. But now Kanavi coming in, trying to get something back. Pun comes in here, but he's not going to get a whole lot for the unstoppable onslaught. Just makes his way towards the turret. That's all he wants. He just needs to clear away the wave. Meanwhile, down here on the bottom side, Gumayushi about to use the satchel charge, blow up that first turret, but they're going to make a play. On the other side, it's D-Ray moving down to the bottom lane, but a TP also about to arrive from HLE. Gumayushi just sat D-Ray! You are domestically dominant, but international performances have not been where he wants them to be. And this first game, unfortunately,
trying to be a secret agent to see if he can sneak his way out of this one, but Gumayushi spotted him.
Yeah, Gumayushi just hunting him down. Immediate Dragon's Rage into the Sonic Wave. Gumayushi bouncing back away as the Stand United is ready to protect the carry. TP's coming in. Mega Inferno Bomb collides onto his toe. He's down to 200 HP. Everybody. This is a very budget build, we will politely call it.
Yeah.
D-Ray's got a lot of catching up to do to try to be relevant in this game. But 15 minutes in, a 5,000 for his efforts. Zeka tried to go for the Petrifying Gaze, but doesn't land the stun, so Pun stays alive. But the pressure continues from the HLE solo laners. Kanavi supporting them here on the side, summons up the Rift Herald, hops right on in. Kaboom! Knocks down the tier 2 turret. I don't think they're stopping.
No.
I think it's a full base push. At 16 minutes into the game, the Herald collides into the tier 3 turret. Team Secret Whales trying to defend. The True Shot Barrage flies through, but it will not matter. Pun caught up immediately with the taunt into the Ishtal impact. Pun is already down. The inhibitor falls. 16 minutes and 27 seconds into the first game, and HLE is marching on the Nexus.
That is not what I expected to be saying. Top teams coming into this tournament, like, it's this sort of precision. It's, we got a small lead, and now we're ruining Pun's day again.
Yeah, Pun is, he's barely hanging on to life. Meanwhile, Kanavi and Zeus just putting the pressure on 2 points at once. These are the plays that you normally see when a team has Baron. Baron will not be on the Rift for another 2 minutes, as HLE just continues mounting the pressure. Delight bouncing back and forth between the two sides. Still only level 7 on the Shen, doesn't matter. He got level 6, he has the R button, that's all he needs.
Yeah, I mean, he got the locket off with all the assists as well, so the shields on shields, Mid lane tower, can they save it here?
Ooh, Delight trying to make the taunt there, but will not be able to connect on that one as Team Secret Wales disengages and finds the punish. TSW looking for a little bit more now. Decimating smash over the wall, not going to get a whole lot. Eddie down to 20% HP. Mega Inferno Bomb! It might just burn him away, but no, not quite enough damage. Histo about to die, but the Impale misses. Zeka goes forward, Histo still running. Zeka needs one more Noxious Blast and a Twin Fang. Last one hits him. Zeka makes it a 1-for-1 trade overall as Delight is back alive now. Zay is still looking for a little bit more. D-Ray, run! Okay, and Zeka working together to just burn down this Drake. I do not see a world where this goes to be a Dragon Soul game. The only one apart from the rest of the team is pushing down the bottom lane. Teleport coming in now. Zeka ready to join the rest of the team. Kanavi goes in with the Ishtal impact. D-Ray's gonna be your target here. Kanavi continues the chase. Mega Inferno Bomb goes through. Flash forward from Kanavi, but it does get stopped from Decimating Smash. No way out for BA. That's one pick over to HLE. And another one sent on the run as D-Ray barely survives. And you can see now HLE, it's a conga line towards Baron.
Yeah, going to be happy to pick up the big purple worm, and I think that might just seal the deal here. With only 2 inhibitor turrets left remaining. HLE just kind of have control. Goom on his own, though. Histo, maybe?
Oh,
the Realm Warp.
Okay, takes the satchel charge, gets himself away. Stand united preemptively, just making sure that he stays safe. D-Ray is now caught on the wrong side of the rift. Zayas should just be able to catch him up here with a nice accelerated shock blast as soon as the cooldown's ready to go. The chase continues. A little bit more. Ooh, D-Ray's actually...
Honestly?
Okay, D-Ray
that
juked
worked.
him. Okay.
Well, he got away, and you pulled him off Baron.
He, about that got away part. I don't quite think...
Flash.
Okay. He evades the rock. The upheaval does not connect.
Another challenger
every
approaches.
time he evades one man, the next man steps up to catch him. It was a valiant effort from D-Ray, but...
I think it's... oh, hang on.
Oh, no. All right. Goodbye, BA. He tried to get out, but Delight, CC...
I do think, like, this team looks exceptional now. They have their identity. Kanavi looks absolutely insane. Gumayushi being able to bring out a ton of these mages, which really fits the meta and also opens up Delight then to start playing around, I think is really putting them into a super interesting spot, especially going up against a team like BLG that plays a somewhat similar style. It's just going to be such a sick tournament to watch these two and a couple like teams like T1 and Top Esports and G2 and yada yada all battle it out.
And I just love how fast HLE likes to play as well. As you can see, I think we've got our final Hail Mary coming out here from Team Secret Wales. BA approaching on the flank, but as soon as they try to make a move, his toe nearly dies at the very start, but Zayas is popped. Pun gets the kill. Nice move from Team Secret Wales. They managed to get one, but now they got to make sure they don't lose too much on the exit. Zeka still moving forward. Mid lane inhibitor about to fall. Yes, Zayas is down, but HLE will still successfully use the Baron. So now he's just building other stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? As long as I have this, I'm fine. As Kanavi, Ishtal's impact through the wall, gets the slow onto BA, and nice use of the Impale to buffer through the defensive CC. Seconds, they're gonna use it to bust through the last remaining tier 3 turret. This inhibitor is gonna be open. The top lane inhibitor is open. The mid lane inhibitor is already wreckage. And HLE have a 5v4 for the next 5 seconds. BA is going to be alive to try to defend the Nexus turrets, but Team Secret Wales, they're staring down the barrel at the end of the game right now. Delight goes in, tries to find his toe, isn't going to get him. His toe evading that for now. First Nexus turret already down. HLE continuing the push, still have the Baron for another 45. Pun tries to jump in, not going to find the angle he's looking for. Kanavi on the chase, True Shot Barrage goes through, only hits Kanavi. That's not good enough. Secret Wales still scrambling. Second Nexus turret gonna be your target now. They want to defend it, but Gumayushi wants to end it. Pun has to flash out, barely staying alive. Petrifying gaze locks everybody up. Pun dies to the Mega Inferno Bomb, and his mid laner dies beside him. D-Ray's also gone. The remaining Secret Wales have to hide away inside the fountain, and even then, they may not survive. The bouncing bombs just terrorizing the health bars here as HLE dominates game 1.
A very confident performance from HLE in game number 1. Insane. I don't really know how you're supposed to kind of come back from that, if I'm honest. But let's toss it over to the AD to break that one down.
Thank you so much. I'm also not exactly sure how we're going to talk about that one. It almost looked like at some points that they were playing with their food. They could do an objective, or they could chase you all the way over your map. They Maybe that?
Yeah, I mean, like, how's...
I was about to say his Volibear will be very good in this position, and he is going to go towards us.
All right, Pun slams down the top lane Volibear against Zeus's Ambessa.
Lane, and then moving that pressure around the map. But now, Zeus low, Histo here.
Okay, no level 6 for the Volibear here just yet as Delight has made his way up with a hook shot flash. And it's first blood over to Delight. It does end up getting traded 1-for-1 here. Histo trying to get away from Delight now. Zeka and BA both making their way up. Histo still looking for a way out. There's no flash here with a Jarvan. Zeka's ready to go with the follow. Needs a little bit more damage. One more auto attack in the air. Gets it done. BA on the run. Teleport coming in now from Team Secret Wales, but Kanavi's also rejoined the fight. Finds another kill into BA. And now the teleport is simply a funeral for Pun. He TPs right back into the top side and immediately has to run back.
Just about able to get away from the lockdown from Kanavi, but there's more going.
It's not done yet. Delight jumps in. Pun goes down, and now D-Ray also delivers himself into the waiting maw of HLE. Delight falls there at least, so D-Ray gets one, but Zeka and Kanavi continue their chase. The Aurora is out of mana, and
Like, call it a day, Team Secret Wales, but with D-Ray moved, they thought they had a Zeka.
Yep, Zeka does not have the Spirit Rush, and that's a good punish from Team Secret Wales. So I'm not surprised that we had more action before it concluded. Yeah. But yeah, that top lane battle was just so bloody. But again, going 5-for-2 favoring HLE, considering how long of a fight that was, really good result for them.
Yeah, at least for Pun, Zeus wasn't really involved, right? He ended up missing out on the public execution towards the end of that fight as well, and Zeus...
Oh yeah, Pun putting on the pressure here with the ulti to turn the turret off. Takes a bite out of Zeus. Pun with no flash anymore, but he could still try to catch up to him here with the Q. Zeus getting away with the mobility on that Ambessa, staying alive at about 100 HP. Pun is winning all of the trades, but in doing so, he's putting himself in a dangerous position. And now, once again, it's Delight setting it up for the public execution. It don't matter about the 1v1.
The last game to try and punish the Volibear once more.
All right, Pun backing away now as you do have both Kanavi and Delight up in the area. Kanavi clearing out the grubs right now, has already secured the first one. Delight's just here to make sure that no shenanigans happen while the jungler is occupied, while his top laner is pushing out. There's your hook shot. Does not find the stun, but it won't matter. He's already got the Hextech ultimatum. Pun getting away for now. The Ignite is on him, but he survives with about 200 HP. Delight still looking for a little bit more. BA shows up. He's trying to cover here for his top laner. BA is also low. Zeus flashing away, still burning down from the Ignite. Both top laners happen. We've still got a violent early game. We've still got, D-Ray making a play down here from the bottom side, looking for Gumayushi, who does get away for now. Curtain call is opened up though. Gumayushi stepping to the side as the teleport's about to arrive. Guma putting the damage into D-Ray, but public execution misses. Will not matter.
They're starting to take over this top side. Going to see if they can find Team Secret Wales in their own jungle. They do push mid.
Oh, Delight jumps in, but a nice evade from BA there. Now the counterattack from Team Secret Wales. The punish on the Kanavi versus Histo. Since Pun couldn't get up here and regroup in time, since he couldn't use his teleport, that means Histo has to be the one defending against the Ambessa, and now BA has already used the repel. Now it's Delight and Kanavi. They want their revenge. If they couldn't find it in the top side jungle, they're going to find it in the bottom side jungle. And now Pun, oh no, now he's under pressure here too. Delight just making sure that he can't walk away. The recall continuing to be channeled. Kanavi going to step forward, cancel that one out. Meanwhile, top side, Zeus going up against D-Ray here, who gets away for now. Bottom side of the map, Pun also going to get dove in the 3v1. He dies immediately. D-Ray getting away alongside Histo up here underneath the tier 1 turret. The Weirding tags Zeka, but he still gets away over the wall. No kills in the top side, but mission accomplished down in the bottom lane, and that's going to be the first turret to go along with it.
Yeah, Team Secret Wales are able to keep themselves alive on the top side. At least the silver lining was it was a shutdown for Pun.
Exactly like you were talking about. 4,000 gold lead and change. 2 dragons to nothing, 3 grubs to nothing. For his own support, yeah. But it's a strange problem to have, but it's a welcome one. Meanwhile, bottom side, Zeus versus Pun. That 1v1 with a Volibear can be deceptively difficult with all the healing that he can get from the W, with the shielding that he gets from his E. Pun is just capable of doing so much. Meanwhile, a teleport coming in to try to reinforce him here. D-Ray wants to maybe make a move onto Zeus, see if they can find the Ambessa. Public execution looking to buffer through it. Zeus turns back around. Pun staying alive with a frenzy, but it's Delight and he's ready to fight. Delight once again turning it around here in the top laner battle. Just when Pun thinks he has the chance. No.
I just wanted to double check that is Ignite Delight's running, not Teleport. Because this man is all over the map. It's absolutely insane. He's there in the nick of time, exactly when HLE need him. And now, immediately, HLE going to take this mid lane tower.
Delight's map movements have been impressive. Now a teleport coming back down into the bottom lane as Zeus rejoins his support. He's ready to repay the favor. BA getting away with Repel for now as Histo and D-Ray both have to run. Delight looking for a little bit more. Jumps right back in here with a hook shot. Zeus just ready to clean these guys up, but he needs a little bit more damage. Delight is down to 100 HP and Histo shuts him down. Now Pun is rejoined. You've got the supreme display of talent, but it doesn't do much damage. Histo finally popped by Kanavi, who has to try to get back away now. Zeus jumping in after BA yet again, but the repel keeps him alive. Kanavi falls to Pun. Gumayushi's made his way into the fight. Point blank solar snare finds another kill. BA still running, somehow staying alive here on the Elise. Pun tries to take Zeus with him, and he finds the shutdown. Pun staying alive from the volley bear. As the curtain call shots come in from downtown, Team Secret Wales finding themselves a couple of kills here in the trade. The problem, Dagda, the other side of the map has some issues. Gumayushi finally falls. Pun picks up the kill on that one.
Keep going.
Guma was trying to keep him there because Zeka is teleporting into the fight. Now Zeka finding a little bit of damage, but it does get locked up. Spirit Rush trying to get enough damage here with Orbit Deception. And yet again, out of left field, it's Delight! But Zeka is locked up and Pun goes on a rampage. Delight needs a little bit more damage, but Pun heals up. He needs another heal with a frenzy and he finds it. Pun's in raid boss mode. He stuns Delight out of the hook shot. The boss, if they want to try to defeat the absolute monster that is HLE right now. Delight jumping in after D-Ray, immediately applies Hextech Ultimatum, trying to get the kill, but BA shows up and the counterattack is there. Team Secret Wales get the kill on Delight. That is big to start this one off. Curtain call opens up. Kanavi gonna get slowed down. Fourth shot. Comes through, finds Kanavi, and Pun gets another one. Team Secret Wales have already found 2 kills, and Pun's not done. Gumayushi gonna be the next target. Pun running after him, but a nice use of charm in the slow. Pun still continuing forward, finds the stun on Aguma. The damage back isn't gonna be enough as Team Secret Wales get a 3-0. HLE is playing fast and loose, and Team Secret Wales are finding the angles for the counterattack.
Secret Wales are happy to punish on this one. Delight goes way too deep, and immediately Team Secret Wales come alive. They're going to get the dragon. They got some kills. HLE trying to find something back by taking this mid lane tower, but Eddie needs to be careful re-entering here. Delight was on the hunt.
Topping the charts at 3,700. The bear is there, man.
There's a reason a lot about, oh, hang on.
We're not done yet. Kanavi and Delight going in this time, and Histo is dead before anybody arrives. Teleports from both teams are here. Eddie's going to be the target of Zeus. Pun creating a little bit of space, preventing the rest of HLE from joining in. Does not cost him anything. Kanavi, oh no, maybe it will cost him something now. He does not have Between Worlds ready to go. He just pops, he's gone. D-Ray's dead, BA's about to join him. That's a 2-0 here so far. Kanavi down to 200 HP. Histo wants to get something back as the curtain call opens up. The shots firing through, Pun jumps in, goes godlike, finding the kill on Kanavi. Now Delight's gonna be the next target, but he hook shots over the wall. Zeus coming in, the shutdown on Pun is gonna be big as he tries to escape. Has a little bit more distance, using the ulti to get out. Frenzy with a massive heal. Zeus now overextended. Histo and Pun grab the kill. This bear is the key to victory for Team Secret Wales. Histo jumps in, going after Delight. Deadly Flourish looking for Gumayushi, but Delight kills Histo. The jungler can't fight the support because Delight is so far ahead. Pun still chasing after Guma, but he can't quite find.
But he is a beast on this pick.
Well, HLE have found Team Secret Wales trying to sneak a Baron away. They will not allow that to happen. Pun's going to eat a lot of damage here at the very start of the fight, but he turns it right back around! Pun's legendary, and Zeus is caught. The curtain call is opened up, but Zeka's here with the back line. Delight right beside him, and Eddie is going to get picked off. You got to protect your Jhin. The rest of the team gets blinded chasing, and Eddie gets caught unaware. Now D-Ray has to try to escape. Going across the veil, turns it around Between Worlds. Delight escapes for now. Weirding's not going to find the target. Delight looking for the hook shot, but Histo gets away with the combo.
And it's HLE who are then finding these collapse angles afterwards.
HLE are going to grab their 3rd Drake of the game, however, that puts them on.
Also, if Team Secret Wales do find a good fight, there's a ton of standing gold for them as Delight.
Oh, Delight, stun with a Deadly Flourish. Pun follows it up with a stun of his own, but nothing more from Team Secret Wales. Ooh, D-Ray messes up the Between Worlds, casts it on a whole lot of nothing, and now HLE, they've killed the raid boss, and everybody else is in their sights. D-Ray and BA both fall right after. Right when it looked like Team Secret Wales continued to find fights and hold the line, it's Pun getting picked into the follow-up kills on the mid laner in support of Team Secret Wales, and now it's just a 5-man death ball down the mid lane.
Yeah, the blades came crashing down as Team Secret Wales were trying to juggle a potential pick onto the light. And now the curtain call, and I think that's it.
His toe catches everybody in Cataclysm, and it does not matter at all. He will at least get the kill on Delight thanks to the turret damage. But now it's Eddie versus everybody as the first Nexus turret dies. Second one's about to fall. BA and Pun will respawn. HLE onto the Nexus itself now, though. Pun charging forward, trying to take him out before the Nexus falls, but it ain't gonna happen. HLE go to match point.
It got a little funny in the mid-game, but HLE still able to bring it together in the end. Better map play, better control in the fight, and that last pick just sealing the deal for Team Secret Wales.
A little bit of happy gaming, a little bit of a Volley Bear raid boss. Analysts, how we feeling?
I feel like if Pun's alive, they're gonna fight.
Yeah.
They have a chance. If Pun's dead, they're all dead.
I'm feeling like, man, if I'm Pun, I'm just like, where?
Against Dr. Mundo feels like a little bit of just falling on your own sword in the draft for no reason. So instead, they will leave that Yone off to the side, and Hui will be the answer. So it's Control Mage versus Control Mage in the mid lane. But again, I have to go back to what I was just trade on him here. So D-Ray taking that opportunity to move forward, play a little bit aggressively into the Victor. Zeus, oh, that turret shot on Pun could be a problem. Zeus with a flash away, evades the Cole the Meek. Board down into the brush. Zeus with another infected Bonesaw, not going to hit the target there. I guess it's more of an infected briefcase. But he walks back. Pun. All right, that could have been dicey either way. The flash from Zeus having to be spent though. Oh! First game, Mundo. So HLE, they're off to probably their slowest start yet in this series. But right as I say it, Delight shows up. Here comes Kanavi. The fear is about to find the mark. Pun stays alive, though, and HLE, despite sending 3 men, despite committing 2 ultimates, will not get the kill. And now Gumayushi, this is what I was talking about back in draft. You want to put the pressure on this guy when he's alone here in the 1v2. Topside Pun under pressure here yet again. Zeus finds the kill. That's a 2-0 Mundo as Gumayushi barely holds on in the bottom lane. He will survive, but he must abandon his position at the turret, and that should give some much-needed money to Eddie and BA.
Still Zeus having a great time on this top side thanks to the help of his teammates. Just able to get that briefcase, but he still wants it. He's going to try and dive in on top of them, and Zeus, he just falls immediately. But it's also the game where HLE have taken scaling top side of the map, right? Like it's Victor and Mundo, so they're kind of like, yeah, we're happy to kind of handshake the early game and not end up in too bad of a position. And even here, still Zeka fishing for more.
Okay, D-Ray, about 200 HP once that shield wears away. Does get the level up, and that level up was pretty important because otherwise Zeka probably could have just found a flash power siphon and got the kill. Meanwhile, up here in the top lane yet again, it's focus on to Pun, and Gumayushi with the bullet time guns him down.
Yeah, the man
for
had
a lot of other champions. Still 500 gold lead is all that can be said for HLE though, so like you're saying, it will be slower. They do want to scale, but Team Secret Wales, I think, are going to have an opportunity in this game that they haven't had in the previous games. Oh man, did I just curse it? I think I might have just cursed it. Eddie, targeted now by Delight, but no, D-Ray shows up in time. It's Gumayushi in danger, and D-Ray gets the kill. Okay, I didn't curse it. Team Secret Wales are going to have an opportunity in this game that they haven't in the first 2 to play from a relatively even game state in the mid game.
Yeah, especially Eddie, actually, who's going to have a decent lead for himself as they take this tower. Didn't quite get the kill, but the CS lead, the plates, like, you now have a Caitlyn that's in a decent spot. And yes, D-Ray is going to fall behind here off this play because he ends up abandoning that wave mid and also loses a bit more.
It's still one of those things that it's like a fake chance at winning. But meanwhile, Kanavi and Delight got to be careful. They're trying to invade yet again, and Kanavi gets caught. His toe with the kill. And Team Secret Wales are up to a 1,000 gold lead.
They're not done.
This is the biggest lead they've had so far in the series. Gumayushi trying to get away as the Hound's pursuit arrives. The Dark and Daggers follow. Delight is nearby to try to protect his carry, but he cannot do it. Now BA's arrived, and Delight might be the next to fall. D-Ray's ready to follow it up, and it's just chain death. 1, 2, 3. Got to have the right positioning around the map and have that macro knowledge, or these individual leads are not going to mean what they should. But it looks like Team Secret Whales, they know where they want to be right now. Gumayusi is the target. His toe keeping Kanavi away, and Guma is just playing as the Coinbase gold grind shows us that it is over a 1,000 gold lead for his toe. A lot of it coming from that farming, as now Pun and his toe trying to deal with HLE, ready to challenge them here with the Dragon. BA has the tether there, on to Delight. Gumayusi using the Bloodthirster shield to block the ace in the hole, but now Kanavi is diving in here with a Paranoia. Zeus right behind him. His toe getting away for now. Kanavi under pressure, Pun in the middle of everybody, but he has to try to get away. Bullet time forces Flash back out of the Renekton. His toe on the run, slowed down by Delight. Cosmic Binding, no attachment into the wall. His toe staying alive for now here with the Karma Shield.
Team Secret Whales. Zeus just going to step up. Team Secret Whales just want to try and let Dragon go for the Rift Herald on the top side, but at least they get something here.
Exactly. You just take the trade. You're like, all right, we would have liked to have the 2-0 trade count. Since we can't get it, get whatever we're allowed to take, and that is the Rift Herald. Pun trying to defend the Tier 1 turret down here in the bottom side as Delight and Zeka shove the wave up, trying to get a little bit more money out on in. No fancy drifting occurring. We've seen some mistakes with that in the past. Not going to run any of that risk as Eddie with the extra range on the Caitlyn.
Zeka on a dive, that it is someone like Zeus.
All right, speaking of dives, Pun is the name of the game yet again. HLE trying to make their move. They're bringing in a TP as well. They turn it back over towards BA, who wanted to try to save his top laner, but instead will just die before him. Now it's a 4v1 against Pun, and he's going to go out too. Zeus takes the kill on the Mundo, brings this game back up to a 5-6 difference. And that means it's only a 1,000 gold deficit here for HLE as they make the move in the top lane. I respect what BA wanted to do, trying to help Pun, but HLE just send more men. It's a 4v2. It goes exactly how you'd think.
Yeah, they beat them to the punch. We just talked about how Team Secret Whales want to try and push mid into top, but Pisto, he's okay.
Yep, he's fine.
The ease of lockdown on Team Secret Whales, not fantastic for dealing with a Mundo.
Yeah. I do like, though, Eddie going for the full Mortal Reminder as his second item. Not normally what you would see on the Caitlyn, but he recognizes the threat of the Mundo, recognizes that it has to be answered. Teleports coming in from both teams. Pun arrives with the game away from making this 7-3-0s
behind them
in a row. As the TPs are coming in, it's Zeus looking for the pincer attack. The Tier 1 turret still standing in mid is critical here, but they're not even going to focus on that. The Blast Cone, it knocks his toe back towards everybody else. D-Ray's on a killing spree, though, as Kanavi ended up isolated. He's the first to fall. Traded away for D-Ray now in a 1-for-1. Nice binding there. Bullet time committed onto Pun. That's a 2-for-1 trade going HL. Zeus is a couple minions away from level 15 on the Mundo. Remember that the third level of maximum dosage is a massive power spike for this champion. Level 16 Mundo is just such a raid boss. Pun is barely level 13. So I think that give him a little bit more time, and Zeus is just going to be utterly unanswerable.
Yeah, it's when the Alois TikTok filter comes over the screen for us, and immediately it just starts going push. Yeah, this is.
And then the follow-up damage there from Gumayushi's Misfortune. Now up here with the top side, Kanavi diving in yet again. D-Ray's already down. His toe trying to get himself out with a call of the pack to drop some of that aggro. Gumayushi's made his way into the fight. Bullets being traded between the 80 carries. Kanavi jumps over the wall trying to get himself to safety. His toe does get the kill with a bleed on the Dark and Daggers. Re-diving into the back line, but no, he cannot finish Zeka. And that means that his damage from this Victor on Zeka, who is halfway to level 16. Now we got the dive up here with the top side yet again, and once more, they just look at D-Ray. See D-Ray, kill D-Ray. That's the name of the game for Kanavi, as his toe wants to try to return the favor onto Gumayusi. Goes forward here with the Eviscerate. Bullet time, trying to fight back. Guma falls. His toe finds a very important pick there in the mid lane. Off to the side here. They don't want to overcommit onto the Renekton.
But that was the thing, that shield, that 10-second shield was kind of needed from Pun to enter into this.
Ooh.
Now, Pun spotted.
Yeah, Pun with the dominance, trying to charge up some fury. He jumps in the middle of everybody, but Pun is already gone. It's a 5v4, as now Kanavi's ready to pop the Paranoia. Zeus chasing after the remaining players here on Team Secret Wales. Eddie tries to get away, but Kanavi jumps on top of him here with the ulti. Zeka's already unstoppable. D-Ray will fall right behind him. His toe jumps in the middle of everyone. Tries to get a kill here with the Hound's pursuit, but it's a magical journey as HLE will chase down the enemy jungler and get themselves a triple kill to Zeka and a 4-for-0 trade.
You just don't have the front line on Team Secret Wales to enter into these positions. Pun reset to pick up his second item. HLE knows. Delight uses the Tempered Fate to force the flash, which means there's no escape for the Caitlyn as Kanavi goes in. And HLE just chased down everyone on this.
And I love that
long enough to let you get that damage.
I mean, you've got a Karma support, and then your front line is an Assassin Dog and Pun on a Bruiser who's 3,000 gold behind.
Yeah.
It's not a very big wall to have to climb over for HLE, and they're not too worried about the wall of enemy inhibitor turrets either. HLE going for what could be the end of the game here. Nice Tempered Fate, catches out Eddie. Kanavi's ready to follow it up. Potential pressure on Gumayushi, but no, he's already killed Pun off. Kanavi getting away here with a flash as Zeus is underneath the turret, and he does not care. Everybody on Team Secret Wales will find themselves torn asunder. A double kill for Zeka, and HLE will end this game in one fell swoop. They march on to the Nexus, and they will find another clean sweep here at MSI 2026. They will defeat Team Secret Wales 3-0.
Team Secret Wales got a couple of punches in, but it's the knockout blow from HLE. 3-0. They will take down the LCP first seed, and yeah, HLE, they're a scary crew.
There's a reason, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, there's a reason a lot of people have this team as their pick to be favorites to win the entire thing. We saw them have a couple of happy moments in the second game. We saw Team Secret Wales catch them off guard a little bit early on in the third, but when they're locked in, when they're playing their game, they are so scary to deal with. Delight's motion around the map, the way the whole team plays together and enables one another is something scary to deal with.
Yeah, well, that's enough from us. I'm going to toss it over to the dancing analyst desk, who are breaking down, alongside breaking down this game.
Tunes.
It's a banger.
Yes, we got bangers here.
What can we say? Wow, what a debut from
I'm sorry, Zeus coming out with the Ambessa blind, picking it. Zeka bringing
BB
this out.
Warwick.
And the Broken Blade Warwick. And if you're feeling good right now, it's because you forgot MSI last year.
An earlier exchange, looking for him. Kanavi around, it does get visual confirmation.
Delight also on the way up, but Labrav is here too. Level 3 to level 2. Q goes wide from Kanavi. That's a nice start for the side of G2. Broken Blade moving in to try and follow up. A low health target's going to mean all that extra attack speed. Fear down. Delight down a level means it can't do a damn thing. It gets taken out as well. 2 quick kills on the top side for G2.
What are on the board? Talk about those.
Ooh, Scumon's still following. You're right. The aggressive early game favoring G2 so far. Kanavi wants to turn it back a bit. Q flash in, flash back from Caps. Lockup is there. The excessive force. He doesn't have enough time to proc it. Blinking health bar. Caps running 22 HP. He's still alive. It's Scumon's here for the turn, but it's about to be 4 members of HLE in the mid lane. This is going bad for G2. Flash out to safety. Labrav hoping, praying for a hook into the tower. Living an extra moment. Zeus with a sundering slam.
They will transfer that pressure into the Dragon and get the push on the mid tower. At the very least, it's going to be turret plate money for Zeka.
Under the light.
Wait, they could trap Scumon. Zeka's coming on the way over.
Level 6 there for Kanavi.
Uh-oh.
Scumon, I don't think, ready for this fight. Easy follow-up now for Zeka. HLE first on the move. Scumon not anticipating the level 6.
That was a big question mark for me, was why are you walking? He wanted that cannon. Oh, he didn't even get the cannon. Hans tried to get that cannon with the snipe. He doesn't get it, and he ends up having to flash.
Flash gone. Pings out. Zeka with the fate sealed, but nowhere to stack up the Q, so not going to opt to contest. All 3 grubs picked up by G2. If they get their side laners strong, this is going to be a massive benefit.
Yeah, and Warwick is a monster in these early skirmishes, especially with his barrier back up. Really have to respect, because once you get into that scrap, it's very difficult to get away from him. The hold on the Q, here we go.
Navi here too, Jaws of the Beast coming out, a bit of damage mitigation, but that Ignite does so much work. Ulti coming in from Gumayushi, but barrier there for Broken Blade to block. Now it's Delight in trouble, exhausted. Hansama looking if he can follow up, but the ulti goes completely awry as the re-engage is there from Kanavi. Cease and desist. No more cheesing in the top lane. HLE ready this time around.
Anyway.
He's still fine. He still has, you know, Q. As at this point, there was a glimmer of G2 early game looking dominant here, but HLE just responded much better, although now Delight the one in trouble. Realm Warp through, looks like Delight will just be sacrificed. You can see Zeka immediately pulling off that play. Recognize there's no way for Delight to escape, so.
Game series. HLE though, they're gonna keep on stacking and it's looking very good. Aside from the very first skirmish on top side, they have been able to
More gold in his back pocket. Caps here as well, maybe hoping they can bait a play. 4 members of G2 overloading the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna send.
That's the ulti going in for Zeus. LeBron now looking for a lockup in the meantime, taking out Delight. Zeus waiting under the tower, ulti in, perfectly timed charm, but the fate sealed to get away. Good reaction from Zeka to buffer. Ulti from Gumayushi connecting just on the frenzy. There's too much damage. HLE solo laner's doing a lot of work, but Zeus maybe over eager. Broken Blade with a blinking health bar. Supposedly that's his comfort zone. Hansama, I don't think so though.
Yeah, it's not a Seraphine comfort zone.
The flash Q, ulti in onto Hansama. Kanavi now looking for a bit more follow-up. Zeka needs to stack for the Q3. A few more seconds before he's forced to snap back on the Soul Unbound. And HLE in the extended fight still able to find an edge. You can see just stepping in to that minefield, just the edge of Guma's ulti takes out about 60% of his HP, and that's 1.5 items on this Ziggs. It's only getting scarier the further we go in, but Broken Blade still hoping to force the 1v1. Needs to get Zeus lower. That's the ulti. Infinite Duress now coming in the extended play. Warwick can do a lot of work, but Zeus might win the 1v1 before even it gets there. Gumayushi TP's in just to say nice job, bud, as they set their sights perhaps onto the tier 1 tower.
Well, you already know the fans are going to be calling to put the Warwick back on the shelf for another year, Dracos, but I like it. It's exciting every time we see it.
For the wrong reasons, Kobe. It's exciting for the wrong reasons. Zeka also taking topside. And again, HLE, one tiny misplay. One look of hope around that bot side 2v2. Otherwise, they've been trading up in each and every skirmish. Now a 3,000 gold lead. Now a Herald empowering them as well as
Guma on this Ziggs is destroying everything he sees, and he can just delete towers as well for HLE, so Guma,
more bombs to blow up your opponents.
It will buy you
certainly
more bombs, and then he also has the life experience advantage.
Oh, Hansama. By the time you tick over to level, they can't immediately punish him. Not confident in where Delight is, just makes it really hard for them to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and we knew from the beginning, this is gonna be a bloody and scrappy game.
And to walk through that little choke point into Guma, into HLE, would be a death sentence.
It certainly does. It certainly would be, and G2 do not want to deal with, so the setup is there. Wait, they're on the attack.
Delight, locked up. Hookshot wall dive, not connecting. Able to find a bit more damage here. As the response from Guma is to take half those health bars. Immediate TP coming in from Zeka, but he's exhausted. Follow-up CC now going to Kanavi, rise to the fight. They're just rolling into G2, and it is not working out. 2 quick kills picked up by G2, but HLE continue to approach.
See? Warwick is exciting. He snipes him. Warwick ultimate hit.
Ulti, Zeka, Zeus straight into the backline. Zeka already dead. Kanavi looking to clean up. Broken Blade finds Gumayushi on the side. He'll take him down, but top jungle from HLE is tearing through the fight. Skewmon, blinking health bar. Broken Blade, a little bit extra sustain coming in. The Eternal Hunger, stacking him up, but a little bit more burst from Zeus should just finish the job. He's too far behind to pull ahead in the 2v1.
Zeus able to clean up. He makes the big play. Any individual member on HLE right now is terrifying you, and I would accept that story.
Yeah, I'm scared of all of them. Delight is 1-4-3, and I'm terrified of Delight. As it looks like Zeus might want to be a little bit terrified of G2. He gets a lot of done there, but it might cost
Baron. I mean, it's just gone. They accepted this play. D2 make the call. We're going to make an overload. We're going to try and get a kill onto Zeus. They do get that. They shut down Zeus. It is at the cost of the Baron, though.
And we were talking behind the scenes about Baron has a lot less value these days.
Mountain Soul, Dracos. That is incredibly powerful for all-ins. These teams that are looking for all-ins, if you have that big extra shield here.
Also, there's a Navi. Hansam, of course, can immediately follow up to keep that CC train going. You in for a Broken Blade, hoping to pick off Delight. Gumayushi isolated off to the side, gonna get deleted before the fight even starts. Now Kanavi wants to turn it back, the Collapse is already moving first. Zeus finally arriving, as is Zeka. Eyes on the fate sealed, the combo of ultimates, but Zeka immediately going to get exhausted. G2, 4 members strong, barreling towards Zeus, looking to deny the soul.
They do it! Zeus now running for his life, and he can't run at all!
Rooted, Delight can't re-enter the fight. The only option left for HLE is to have Zeka push mid. It's scrappy, it's messy, but it's G2 who take the exchange.
They have to fight their way out. That's the only option for G2, so they send it!
If you think they might fight you, just hit them.
Yeah.
Hit them right in the face, hit them fast. Well, that's Delight's plan. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to get the stun. Zeka, immediate lockup from LeBron, denying him on the side. Zeka.
Looks good.
QSS out. G2, quick pick onto Delight, really punishing these haphazard moves from the Camille.
I mean, I want 5 of these, Dracos. This is my kind of league. Let's fight.
Let's get through one, Kobe. Let's not,
Okay.
one at a time.
They're going to go for a dive here, baby. Look at this. Circling around both sides.
Brav on the side, hoping to lock up Guma. Winds become lightning, does connect, but the satchel charge is still up and available. LeBron zoning them away, does get called out by Zeus. Excellent ulti on the public execution. Support's down on both sides, but it's 3 seconds until Delight is back up and active on the map. Kanavi debating, can he force the ulti? Caps goes golden with the Zanyas, buys a second. Instantaneous follow-up is there, and the encore, not enough for Hansama. Instead, it's an encore for HLE. They want more kills, more violence, more action. This time, they're the ones punching first, and luckily for G2, they've got enough distance that they're gonna be able to walk this one off.
The problem is G2 punched the wall. If you hit a turret with your fist, that's gonna hurt. Didn't say they were gonna go for the dive, didn't say it was gonna be good. And HLE punished them. The damage there, Guma chased.
Going to retreat there from the tier 2. A little bit confident just to even walk up, but of course there's no vision in the G2 top side. He almost got out there. Did go to punch first. Again, you highlighted, punched the wall. There was a stud in the wall. Now there's a Zeus in the jungle, however, and there's not really a lot Skewmon can do. Flash in from LeBron, gets the flash out from Guma. G2 not certain if they want to keep playing for this. Zeka zoning them away with the fate sealed. Ulti's traded. Zeus, Skewmon re-engage. Instantaneous encore, hoping to burn through the Embes Hellpart. Broken Blade with the fear in the back line to stop the instantaneous follow. But Guma still gets the ulti down. Kanavi versus Caps. 1v1, gets a second of relief, but Zeka is already here. Flash away from Caps is simply not enough. But Skewmon, Warwick beside him. Broken Blade still living for too damn long. The magic damage gone, and this wolf is tearing through, baby.
Smite on the map, though, is going to get the vision control.
Yeah, I'm still...
Skewmon. Warwick just has to auto.
Laughter from Rodrigo. Realm Warp into the backline. Instantaneous fit fight. Encore across the entire team. Caps getting lower. Delight still off to the side. Crucially, Guma is down. G2 holding on, but Kanavi and Zeus stay strong. This time around, it is not going their way. HLE happy to turn this one. Hansama running, but surely there is no way out. The buy, the Camille, the Ambessa, not even needed. G2 sent packing. A freeze frame, but it does not mean a damn thing. It's an ace for HLE.
That's what it looks like when HLE get their AoE off.
Huge stats that much stronger, the additional shielding that much harder to burst through, burst down, especially for Guma, who also now the Zanya's ready just to stop any more of those backline dive attempts. HLE poised for a victory lap to Baron and the base of G2 Esports, but there's another window to fight. G2 now at a massive deficit. Can they find a miracle once again?
Instantly, Baron gonna get started up. HLE are gonna force G2 to walk into their vision control.
G2 ignoring bot lane. If they lose this fight, Guma TP's bot and the game is over. It's all on this. 8K, objective getting lower. Skewmon ready to go over the wall, but they cannot walk through the minefield to force the 5v5. 50% HP on so many members, and there's not even a fight breaking out yet. Zeka over the wall, locking up Skewmon. Zeus to follow. Down goes the jungler. Turn back though. On to Delight, hoping to get something else. Gumayushi is dead. G2 fighting into enemy territory on HLE. Multi-man lockup. Hansama and Caps have to make the difference, but the divers are too damn strong. Zeus once again gets the double. Zeka to finish it. HLE closing it out with confidence.
They knew they had the upper hand. They forced the Baron. They forced G2 to walk to them. And now HLE are gonna walk into their base.
HLE, a confident victory lap. G2 got scrappy, they found some fights, they brought it back. But HLE so consistently performing better, making the most of their divers and punishing the mistakes of G2 Esports in this first game. The Warwick started rough, It got really good, but it wasn't enough with HLE itemizing the healing reduction, never giving him a chance to make the impact he was looking for. G2 sent back to the drawing board as HLE draw first blood in this best-of-5 series. But first, they got to play with their food a bit.
I respect it. G2 trying to play into that HLE pace and trying to keep toe for a little while, but HLE remain undefeated here at MSI. Analysts, take it away.
HLE say not today. We will defend LCK's honor regardless of what you throw our way. But what a first game. Incredible.
Can go unstoppable during the Cataclysm. So, all right, we are going to get the Salas and just give that bird up to Zeus. Zeus was one of the very early adopters of the top lane Anivia, by the way. And Broken Blade going to pick it.
Yeah, it's tough to match this. Nice polymorph, but
ooh, once again, we have a roam here. Zeka's going to get behind Skewmon
on
even.
the way. Can
Did they
steal
see
the
him?
Lee Sin kick. Skewmon recognizes the danger and decides it is time to back up. Guma stepping pretty far forward. Hanwha flashback, a sidestep, but Zeka's now on the way in. Abscond, just gonna get him with the chain lash, and first blood to the side of HLE.
Kanavi's here too,
But
now
HLE,
Dracos.
you're right, they're not done yet. Pushing this wave and taking their sweet time, letting G2 stew in it. The flag, the drag, the knockup coming in from the stolen wild growth. Kanavi not even going to fall. A flop. Looking to contest Skewmon a bit with the kick around. It's easy setup for the last breath. You have to be careful not to overcommit. Hans and LeBrock, man advantage. Calling onto Hans from Guma is big. Getting a bit more damage down. Guma with the barrier, flashing away. Guma overconfident. Has to use both of his sums, but gets one in return from Hans. But that's a 2v1, and now Zeka's moving in behind them. Grubs are down. Zeka can steal Yunara. Oh, no, he has Cinder ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
You're not outplaying that one, buddy.
No.
Yeah, not outplaying that one. Doesn't matter if Syndra casts it or Silas casts it. The outplay R button is not happening. LeBron running for his life. He wants to dodge this chain. He cannot.
The shield there, but LeBron going to fall too. Zeka is monster fed. Scatter the weak from Caps. Skewmon to follow. The abscond takes Zeka
Roams
out.
have been felt bottom lane, but Caps does have the CS lead to speak because of it.
Oh, flag drag. Quick flash back there. The Golden Egg is slow connects, but it might not matter too much. But now the Cataclysm lineup is there. Instantaneous polymorph. Nice wild growth on the Caps to try and turn it. Zeka hoping to find an angle for the kick. Only manages to disengage from Skewmon as Lebrov keeps walking.
Skewmon with the flash gets inside there for the kick as well.
Top lane, Broken Blade moving up. Zeus would push the wave all the way in. Risky call from Zeus. Last breath to come through, but Kanavi already on the way. Oh, the wall to push it back! Zeus is just too damn clean. Broken Blade gonna try to dash his way through, but the ulti is there. Turn to ice. It's just already, Kobe. They keep all of the prizes are theirs.
It's
Console
like
G2, what are they getting back, Kobe?
Your friend just, won a hand in poker, and you're like, I'm going to come console you. Really, really tough time you've been having over here. Making money.
Being wildly far ahead, as it were. 2K advantage for HLE, and this is so frustrating for G2. Broken Blade continuing to go all in on Zeus. He doesn't really have another option. Caps now coming up, gets on the other side of the wall. Last breath there, but unfortunately not on the other side of the wall where he needs to be. Reset into the egg. G2 should grab this kill, but Zeka now moving in. No way the Anivia manages to live. Broken Blade dashing through, the shutdown going to Caps, fighting the bottom lane. Ulti onto Hans, some of the wild growth gives him an extra second. Guma overstepping! Shutdown from Skewmon, extra healing now coming in. That's the Sundered Sky. Delight, the turn back, wants to get it onto Skewmon. Kanavi, polymorph, down he goes! G2, an excellent fight in the bottom lane. Sometimes not ideal.
Be like the wind and dodge everything, man. Don't
get
hit.
It's a big circle, my guy. The
Also,
Glacial Storm, big circle.
Also, Lebrov probably going to get a Mikhail's this game. We'll see. They got
Navi running in. Skewmon, the shielding enough. Keep him relatively healthy. Control Ward denying a bit of the vision there. Flag and drag, flash out from Hansama. Polymorph now, kick back onto Kanavi. He's going to flash out as well. Guma marked up by the Sonic Wave. No resonating strike, and Zeka starting to come over the wall. Crucially, if Scott Abduct does not connect, but it might not matter. Wild Growth stolen away still by Kanavi as a double kill comes through for Guma. G2 were not ready for this fight. The knockup doesn't land on the Caps, but the red buff just keeping him in range. Lower and lower goes Kanavi, the Dark Sphere to finish the kill. Solo laners of G2 in the 2v3, hoping to make the difference. Flash out from Broken Blade, though. Leaves his mid laner to die. There's no other choice. He cannot save him.
They give the double buffs and the kill to Zeka here on the silent, but even with that, unable to do so. Flash down from him as well.
Oh. Zeus just canceling recall after recall after recall, knowing that no one on G2 is in a good position to threaten him here, and now having his entire team back him up as he basically just solo kills Hans.
Ooh, that was brutal right there.
Everybody's problem. As G2, the gold lead still okay, as now we see Last Breath in the bottom lane. Zeka going for the 1v1. Abscond Abduct will give him access for the Last Breath, but Zeus is here once again to save the day and just, what the heck? Just one taps.
Electrocuted.
He's still going. Anivia is a mobile champion in this man's hands. Lebrov also forced to flash out.
Zeus is kind of good.
Yeah,
brother.
This guy deserves to win Worlds, I think, maybe. Some would say.
I like too. You know, he's calling down the lightning, even when he's playing the Frost character. He's got the electrocute. Able to get that synergy as they drive this Herald right on in.
Man's got every element ready to go. Kanavi. Zeka. Okay. The 1v1 versus Caps. And that, I think, is at least...
Let's take a look. Okay, so HLE back on track with the Dragons, but really it's all about the kills and the gold lead. I mean, they've taken so many towers. It's really, okay, we'll hover this Syndra, but HLE can do that too.
And that Coinbase gold grind just showing us that despite a 40 CS discrepancy, kills can more than make up for the differences. Lebrov has simply stepped too far forward. Didn't really burn much of anything to make that happen. Caps now in no man's land, a decent scatter as Skewmon manages to kick Gumayushi out of the equation, but now Caps is in enemy territory and may once again just be sacrificed. Kanavi puts him in the Thunderdome. The extra healing, and Caps just doesn't do enough damage to finish the kill. Breath of life there, and a culling to close as once again kills just being donated to Guma.
Nice from Delight there. Keeps Kanavi up while they finish up their business in the top lane. And honestly, HLE don't look like they're dropping a game anytime soon at this tournament with how they're playing. Broken Blade in a brush though. What can they do?
Guma. Q auto, another Q, dash through. If he gets the knock up, he can probably finish the kill. Flash away from Guma, given that respect, but Zeka's just solo killing Lebrov. And now Broken Blade is dead. Oh gosh, yep, Last Breath, aptly named. That's the last breath he's gonna get. It's HLE obliterating G2. There's not a lot else to say. It's 16-5, it's a 7,000 gold lead. We're 20 minutes in. Skewmon trying to get one back, no! Zeus, just give him a crumb, please! Have mercy! Oh no, Caps is next. Oh no, Kobe!
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, he already got a pet to
start hitting with the cope. The cope at this point is you go game 3, you believe in G2 to go back to the... But it feels different when they're playing against your representative, I will say. It hits a lot harder as Zeka just doesn't stop.
Hits hard.
Oh, he takes the Yasuo and he's doing better with it! Broken Blade's dead, Lebrov running. Skewmon also has to get the hell out of there. Zeka turns back! He's got Scout of the week. They are desperate to finish off Zeka. They have so many members. Surely they can kill this mid laner, but Guma's off to the side. They're being herded, knocked back into their own jungle as HLE just make a montage on the first seed of the LEC. Zeus didn't even arrive yet. Finally, the bird is here, but it's another double kill to Zeka.
HLE looking to get some revenge for Gen G and BFX. At first,
I don't know. I liked it more when BFX and Gen G were out. HLE terrifying. Skewmon preying on a 50-50. He's dead. Might get a kill, but he cannot steal this because they have the discipline to back away. And there's Zeka once more. Now legendary, insane dominance coming out for HLE. G2, this is their final stand. 1.7K. The objective will fall. Hansama off to the side. 4v5. G2 continue to walk up. Scuttlecrab plopped on top of Zeka's head. Broken Blade charging the Q. Ease through. Manages to find the last breath. Polymorph onto Zeka. They're getting a bit of space here. Hansama still standing. Ult's looking to transcend. Zeka looking to stop it and it's tracked. So the follow-up is there. Hits him with the Dragon's Rage. He's absconding. He's abducting. They finally kill the mid laner. But it looks like it's costing him the game.
Holy moly!
Top were diabolical.
Yeah. Top has now exited the tournament already, but
What do we say about the transitive property, Kobe? Let's not go any deeper into that one. No bell. They may have tried to ring it, it's unclear, but HLE are not letting them get close to that particular bell. But again, you have a game 3, you have a chance to bounce back. The mental fortitude going to be necessary from the side of G2 Esports. As Skumon looking to follow up on Kanavi. Good chunk to kick things off. The wild growth stolen. And once again, just fantastic setup. Kanavi still living. Broken Blade knocked up. That's the EQ flash to ensure they have the lock up there. Breath of life. No one is dropping down. Caps' own base is no longer safe.
I mean, that was like art. That was beautiful engage.
That's fantastic.
Caps versus Egg. He's gonna lose before the timer pull.
He can't do it.
The Egg
He can't
wins.
kill the Egg. The Egg won. Zayas is just
Zayas
TPing to a
gonna
random
teleport
ward.
for the chase.
He knows. HLE even more dominant than game 1. Give no hope. Give no quarter. To the side of G2. They move on to match point. They're looking to clean sweep the series and remain undefeated at MSI.
All right, Analystes. Tell us how G2 are going to pull off this reverse sweep.
Ain't enough. Give him the trophy. HLE is just too good. I don't know, Kobe. I don't know.
Because Cream hit all of his Noxious Blasts, and they also critically were roaming mid with jungle and support right behind him. So we're going to get that Twisted Fate top answer again into the Rumble. People also have been...
Aggression here. They want to stop this wave from going in as Hansama shifts forward. Flash. Not ideal, but that's a blinking health bar on Delight. The follow-up just isn't there. But Skumon moving down, has a flash of his own. Fakes that he's going to go in on the clone. Stepping on the trap from the Brav, not going to cost him. Call the pack might though. Kanavi goes in, looking to land both the daggers. First blood to the side of HLE. The stun landing because he uses the clone. Delight.
Cap's going to hold his ultimate. It's that mind game. Going in for the trade, turning your back.
Ulti in the top lane coming in from Kanavi though. Drops the tower aggro, flash out coming in from Zayas. Easy kill pickup for HLE. Kanavi.
The matchup this time around is also going to add just extra insult onto that one. Zeka's able to get it. Kanavi is getting invaded by the support room, of course. They do have a Twisted Fate top as well.
Broken Blade stepping up, gold card. All the pack used just to stop the stun going in.
How many turret plates you...
Oh, here come the boys. They know no flash, no
look
exhaust.
At the mini-map, bottom lane.
That's a Voltaic Cyclo Sword. They're going to give the kill to Guma, but Kanavi's there just in case. G2 running out of space to play in their individual lanes. Broken Blade 0-2. Once again, the dive top lane into the immediate follow-up punish. He had to burn sums to survive or hope to survive, but when he goes down anyway, it just makes the follow-up dive that much easier. Now the tower taken out of the equation. Kanavi, remember, incredibly fed. He's stunned, but it might not matter. Double Dark and Dagger's about to come out. A little bit more healing, but no. G2 with the tower empowering them are at least able to grab that shot. Still manages to make the most of it. 2-1-2 the score for Kanavi. Caps getting the kill back is nice, but Broken Blade, 5 seconds is all you got once you lock that gold card in, and then immediate engage comes in from Zeka. One more auto, just eats the stun and takes Broken Blade's life.
Zeka is on one, man. He's solo killed both of your solo laners now. And
yes, he has.
Broken Blade is kind of homeless at the moment.
That he is.
Broken Blade couldn't handle the... Well, we got an actual fight on our screen.
Potentially. Kanavi is still very squishy despite having the Voltaic Cyclone Sword. Skumon flash in, immediate Cyclone. Good reaction coming out from Kanavi. Skumon just can't get anything. Instead, turning back onto Gumishi. One more stack on the Cyclone. Spinning as fast as he can towards that Caitlyn. But the berry is there, and down they go. And now Kanavi, he smells weakness. And he's quick to punish. Getting the kill on Hans as well. And Lebrov is individual gold lead. A completed item and an extra BF sword on top
Zayas
of
wants
boost
the Ezreal
2.
kill. Look at him. He's going down for the Ezreal kill bot lane.
Zayas going for the 1v1, looking to burn down Hansama. Electro Harpoon's hitting, overheat coming in. Hansama forced to flash away. It's a split fight though. Zayas quick to finish on Hansama as we turn our attention to the top side. Delight finds the disengage. Broken Blade finally gets here. Kanavi, not sure if he has the call of the pack. Taking his time on the double daggers, and Broken Blade just getting deleted. Ulti in, not enough time to lock a gold card. Kanavi gets the reset. He'll get a shield when he ults again. Skumon hoping to get one back. Healing coming from the Dark and Daggers. They finally take down Kanavi, but it looks like it's costing him everything because Guma's the fed one, and he's raining hell down onto
Yushi.
Look at that, the golf clap. Yep, well done. Clean it up, boys. They are also pushing top. They are also pushing bottom. HLE owns. Oh, there we go.
I got it.
He got the instructions, put it together. Trinity Force done.
You know, that's kind of like having 3 items, if you think about it. You want to put some fake silver lining on those clouds as mid lane tower going to fall. And Hanwha does do damage. You can see the Mystic shots are connecting, but finishing a kill is just a different story. And credit to HLE, right? Oh, hold that thought. The light caught out. They're going to try to one-shot this Bard. Lockup is there. Miasma as well. Nice shutdown to get things off, but Kanavi instantly turns back. Looking to pick up Hanwha as well. Call the pack. Not going to be necessary. Eviscerate to get him over the wall. Sidestep on the True Shot Barrage as Gumayushi just 1v1ing the Wukong. Zeka goes in to kill him. G2 just have no space. They're getting danced around.
Find one square. Okay,
It's fine.
the balance team has you.
That they do. The balance team cannot nerf Zeus as much as they have nerfed Rumble. Go in, gold card. Zeus overheating in Broken Blade's face. Might still be able to grab a kill, just barely surviving. Nice pick for G2. What will it cost them on the other side of the map? HLE descending on mid lane. Kanavi, ulti not there yet, but he's got a Rift Herald in his back pocket and more than happy to use it to break down that mid lane tier 2. Flash out from Labrov. Skewmon retreating. True Shot Barrage hits the camp, but tower finally going to fall, and Broken Blade back to the drawing board, and we'll need to find a massive level up or a new strategy to support them in the next series, because HLE are playing comfort, they're playing old greatest hits, they're playing whatever they want.
Oh, but you can because it's fun.
But you can because it's fun, and they might, because that's a 7-stack Magi's on Zeka. It's fun. Hey! Brother of Delight, not enough to save Labrov. However, he will still die, and now the resets are coming in. Knockup from the Cyclone, and the clone is nice from Skewmon, but it might not matter. Red carpet laid down for Broken Blade, looking to send him back to the fountain, and Caps cannot get the snake body in front of that bullet in time. Hoping to take down Kanavi, but stepping into 3 members of HLE who flash on him. Instant McHale's to stop the CC from coming through. Hanwha now retreating, and they're just getting run down. G2 zoned away, forced back. That's before Guma even started auto attacking. You can see a third of Hanwha's HP just disappears in the blink of an eye.
Again, though, like these, where you say, hey, let's set a goal on killing a single individual. Ideally, you know, you'd love to kill Guma to get the giant bounty. Well, never mind, we're under
Caps
attack.
is the goal. Caps is the individual for HLE. Lockup is there, he's about to fall. Labrov getting lower and lower. Broken Blade is finally here, but it's a red card. He's hoping we can play football rules. He can get him kicked off the rift, but he absolutely cannot. They've exhausted Kanavi. Labrov just barely able to kind of step up and tank that one. The Caitlyn damage is continuing to get higher and higher.
Yeah, the Guma autos on Broken Blade were brutal there.
You just can't dance around this. There is no storyline. There is nothing we can say that will make this any less one-sided. Nice engage coming in for HLE. Bit of a stop juke coming out. No, they just already killed him. It wasn't a stop juke. That's my bad.
Just steamrolled over this tournament thus far. Of course, we'll definitely have to wait and see how it progresses, but Baron's going to go down as is.
Another trap about to go down. Chain CC. McHale's there. Caps running. Zeka chasing. Distortion in. A little bit more damage as Caps does what he can to fire back. The gold lead continues to grow. Red Bull Baron power play.
Especially, you know, one as good as this. And it is important for the length of a tournament to continue to trust your team. And not let it break you, okay?
100%.
This is not an elimination series. You still have tournament left to play. Although, you probably don't have much of this series left to play.
No, probably not. Ulti onto Hanwha starting to walk away. Ace in the hole, body blocked by Skewmon. Broken Blade has a gold card this time. Yellow, hoping to take him out of this particular play. Oh, the Coinbase gold grind. Yes, thank you. Wanted to review. Shout out to Coinbase, obviously. Much love to our sponsors, but poorly timed. We know we're getting just completely, absolutely Goomba stomped. Cap sidestep the ulti. Q flash in goes in from Delight. Skewmon's going to spin amongst 3 people, but he's just serving himself up on a silver platter.
Round up into gold.
Well, and it is. HLE continuing their dominance. Not going to risk anything on this closeout. They want to stay in this game as Kanavi's going to survive that True Shot Barrage. There's insult, there's injury, and there's the addition of whatever the heck this is Broken Blade is also going in.
Oh, Zeus goes
through. Oh.
Too good. They roast him up. Now they're going to go for more. Okay, not done.
Zeka still living, goes back, shut down on a little block. That's the one kill.
Another huge kill for G2.
And I hope for the sake of G2 that this is not the end of their tournament. This is not the end of them playing at their best level, even if we don't get to see that best level here, because obviously they're down 14,000 gold. The tower's taken out of the equation. HLE Cosmic Vine taking out. Zeus on a rampage. Caps hoping to get another kill. Yushi running. Welcome with a gold card. Can we get one more kill?
Oh my God! My God!
HLE
That is not a
undefeated
peacemaker.
in the first series. It's not a peacemaker. That's a kill maker right there. That is a surface-to-air missile strapped to Gumyushi's hands. He has taken people out. Okay, Hansama gets one back. A little bit of panacea for the pain that HLE have caused. HLE remain undefeated, waiting to see if it'll be BLG or LYON facing them at the top of the table.
Who will be the first to take a single game off of HLE? Not G2, not today.
G2, not today. Hearts out to them again, hoping for that recovery. They are not out of this tournament yet, but there was a gap this series. It was a massive gap between the teams, and HLE reminding us how incredibly dominant they can be. Let's send it over to the analyst desk now to talk a little bit more about that series.
As we see HLE take a bow, and they've absolutely deserved it. 6-0 so far. You speak of a gap, I speak of a Mariana Trench. It was absolutely huge. I think this was one of the biggest reality checks I've seen for a team in a very, very long time. HLE had to defend LCK's honor with it. They had to beat G2, and they did it in style.
Yeah, even though I'm such a big 3-0 predictor, I couldn't really predict G2 to win 3-0 today, and it turns out HLE having a 3-0 against G2. Again, I think we didn't have a clear plan by ourselves, and that means a lot. Even though we kind of knew that HLE is a better form, I kind of wanted to see from G2 having their theme, having their team color, but this time around, like, it was none of them.
Yes, we'll get a little bit more time to talk about the G2 side of things in a bit, but Ox, first, let's sing the praises of HLE. Where would you like to start?
I want to look at Zeka because he had a
Played so many of his iconic champions at this tournament already, slamming them all. Speaking of
He
which,
ain't gonna be playing that one though. Is Knight pick? Wait,
it's the Cassiopeia
It
bot!
is the Cassiopeia bot.
That's
we
what
didn't
I'm
know
saying.
whether it was good, but maybe it will be today, as Knight is gonna be fighting fire.
Yes,
Moving
Knight.
over on Vision right now. Gets the ward down. There is the blue taken by Kanavi, and now he looks to try and turn this fight. In comes On, looking for the angle, but Zeus is going to get hit first, like you were saying. Knight's moving over. Blastcone is there. He gets himself into the battle, but Zeus has the flame spitter out. The flash over, but the jump back from Kanavi. The flash taunt to come in, though, in first blood. Over to Knight. Shun gets out of there. Zeus is overheating. On is still trying to fight as Bin makes his way in. The hop comes through, but Delight is looking to try and keep them away from his teammates. Still, he's going to go down. 2-0 for BLG.
BLG strike
Always there, ready to come out of that banana brush as they're looking for this blue buff as well. Kanavi is obviously going to fight for it as they dive over. Shattering Strike is going to connect on to On, but Shun is going to secure that blue buff. There's the taunt flash. Oh, Viper finds a petrifying gaze, immediately cuts down 2, and BLG move to 4-0. It's insane. Do want to go for a fight. They're down 2,000 gold though. The first grub is going to fall. Gumyushi gets the minefield down, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about this. First couple of grubs go, and there is the third. BLG going to be able to pick this up without a fight.
Yeah, Knight has started to move up mid, so BLG were ready to fight.
Port is insane. River Shen into tower diving Shen. Can HLE answer?
Shun here.
Looking for a bit of an angle. Shun here for the defense. They do get the knock up onto Zeus. Everyone in the Cataclysm. The equalizer goes down, though. The Flame Spitter comes through. They do knock down the Jarvan. Bin trying to find a target. The crash down there to stop any sort of re-engage. But Bin gets the flash now. Finds the Rel as Kanavi needs to jump over this wall. He will do so. The house is not going to quite connect. And they go 1 for 1.
1 for 1. I mean, you still manage to get a lot of those minions under the tower as well, but Knight and On here. On's to level 5. I don't think you can go for this, can you?
Well, they're going to double with a 5-point strike. He only needed 2 points.
He's had in keeping HLE in their own jungle.
Shun wants a piece. He wants another blue buff here.
Oh, Kanavi may not be able to fight for this one, but he still gets knocked up. There's the Taunting Knight on a rampage, absolutely.
He's averaging 7 kills on average coming in to this tournament, and he wants to add maybe another one.
Yeah, this could be number 5 as the equalizer goes down from Zeus. He does have his teammates coming, but they're not going to be there soon enough. The Magnastorm is going to come down, but Knight gets himself out of there. Kanavi almost dies before he even gets in, as they do get the shutdown, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? Bin says everything.
It is a massacre. Better on a night with that early collapse, and since then, every play has been BLG.
Yeah, the Masma just stopping Delight from being able to press any button at all, really. He does have Ghost, but that's not going to help him here as he is likely to go down. Gets the heal, nice satchel, but it's not going to be enough. Down he will go, and Shun, he's the one to now pick up his 5th kill of the game.
Yeah, Kanavi just trying to hold on.
Oh dear, Knight going for the 1v1, he'll find it.
I don't envy the observers here. How are you supposed to keep up with this?
Well, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job as Kanavi's going to go down as well. They knew he was about to bounce over that wall. He is going to stay alive, at least for the next couple of moments, as we toggle the vision on is obviously hunting. And it looks like the doggo is going to slink away for now.
So it turns out BLG can also snowball very effectively.
Yeah, might have slowed down just a little bit. It's not really been what we've assumed in the LCK. We felt like the rest of HLE kind of caught up to Kanavi, but we're starting to...
is perfect for him. And I think that's why BLG could thrive just off the back of him alone.
He's also immune to caster curses. Trying your best.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say,
pressure up. And even now, like, with that push away, you still have Shun covering for Knight. He's starting to get more turret plates. Kanavi...
Yeah, I don't know what Kanavi's supposed to be able to do here as he does bounce his way out, but he's still just dead. That's a solo kill here for Shun.
Absolutely absurd. Like, Shun is just living in his jungle, and it's so incredibly difficult for Kanavi. Like, you're a voltaic cyclosword in a dream here, hoping that you can hold on to things.
I think it's a cyclosword in a nightmare, Dagda. That's what it's feeling like for me. As the Rift Herald will be thrown down here in this mid lane. That is going to get a very comfortable kill on this outer turret that's lasted a much longer time than I was expecting. Shun driving forward, a beautiful taunt. They catch Gumayushi just the edge of the petrifying gaze. And I think that Guma was scared at the beginning of that play. Definitely was at the end after Viper got in there.
Man, the read from On right there and the fall, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to play off the Rift Herald as well. Guma's in a great spot right now to throw my flash this time. I'm not faking this time. We're going to full send. They combo again.
You don't really have to play macro. You just send Knight into a position HLE might be. I think it becomes a lot easier to try and do that, you know?
Yeah. I think being able to attack move is all you really need at this point in time.
It's also like, I do think BLG have this insane ability to just lock the hell in whenever they are up against some of these really top teams. And especially when you're playing against some of the guys that, you know, for Knight that denied you that golden road back in the day, like, it gets personal for these lads.
Oh, it does.
I mean, the idea of like play to the level of your opponents, or ideally just above the level of your opponents. And here they certainly are. So game number 1, of course, you know, this is an absolute
incredibly stressful, and then the whole time you felt like you could do it, and then you're one game further away.
So right, this game they're like,
this game,
at no point did I feel like
based on what I've seen Kanavi doing, he is already thinking about what to play in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Mascot Prices moment there coming up with the Soul, but I did want to just highlight, like, the hunt for the Golden Road for BLG is massive for them. Like, this was denied from Knight and Kanavi on JDG back in 2023 by Gumayushi and Zeus, but now they want to get a little bit more.
Yeah, Cataclysm onto only Kanavi is not exactly the target they're looking for, as Delight is just kind of dead as an afterthought. Kanavi gonna have to run the heck out of there as the Twin Fangs are being sunk in. And BLG now just knocking on the door of HLE. And HLE, I just don't think they're going to be able to. They're hiding in the attic at this point in time. They're like, you can take all the stuff. Take all the stuff. We'll just hang out here. Please.
Don't answer that door. You're not going to like what's on the other side.
No.
It's also when...
It's just over, isn't it?
Is Knight the most... okay, we got another on ult. They're going to kill someone.
Kanavi is dead, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to flash first, but then he is indeed going to go down.
Is Knight... he does have the death note.
Well, Zeker is going to look for a bit of an angle. He does manage to buffer the ulti, but still gets knocked up. Nothing he could do. Shun able to lock down that kill as Knight gets into the back line. That is an electrocution onto Gumayushi and an execution onto HLE here in game number 1. My God, it was not close as BLG just paving this road right over the top of Hanwha Life Esports.
BLG just not giving Hanwha a chance. Kanavi sent packing is nice. Looking for one more.
Yeah, he may as well see whether he dives the fountain. Not going to be the case just yet, as Kanavi is trying to tempt them into it, but the Nexus is going to be the focus here. BLG, all business, as they will be able to take game #1, utter demolition.
I want to know what BLG did to warm up for this series, because it looked really good, analysts.
I don't know.
I saw Knight bench pressing the bus they
Did
came
you?
in.
Hey, I just got a stat fed to me by our producer saying this is the 22nd time in 2026 that Knight has had 10 kills.
Back as Lee Sin, you feel like you can literally do everything. Your engage range is insanely long, and you can really punish.
Oh, Viper, okay. The Talia bottom lane, I remember this, and I'm
With a
sad that
Pantheon.
I over to the Lee Sin.
And this is some of that kind of downtime on his own camps for Shun, so you know he's looking to scrap instead, looking to create some action. Good job pushing the Scuttle Crab top.
Yeah, I don't know about Zeka's positioning here as he's in amongst 3 people. Tempest goes down, and so does the Annie. First blood over to Shun.
Shun found that scrap, Kobe.
He takes the first one, and it looks like there's going to be no contest. But Viper's here towards this bottom side, grabbing some crockery out of this turret. And that should be unanswered at the moment with Shun clearing out this control ward. The Dragon has been begun as well. So even though the Grubs will go over to this Wukong, it's not without a cost, as Zeka does find another bear towards Knight. Knight seems not too perturbed, but he's still taking some damage.
I mean, honestly, a pretty hefty cost. Going really nice for BLG here. Turret plate money, getting the Dragon as well in trade for those Grubs.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping my eyes on the bot lane, because I'm still seeing some of those cheeky plays. But at least in game 1, they couldn't keep pace. This game, it's BLG who are actually managing to keep up some of the pressure here. Has been good trade against Zeus. With the public execution, though, a little more difficult to hit on towards Jax, who can just leap strike away.
Yep, Solarflare going to connect, though. That is an extremely dead Delight. And was level 5. I don't think the ult would have helped. Time, as we do see some pings towards the bottom side of the map.
And 4 people going top at bin.
Yeah, there is the Deadly Flourish as well. The curtains have been called. He's looking for Zeus, who flashes out of the way of the public execution. Delight gets in the Hextech ultimatum to take the kill. And HLE are on the ball. Well, they're now looking to try and kill him underneath this turret here, or maybe catch on rotation. There it is, the Eclipse. A whole lot of value, though, as he does flash his way out. The teleport to come through as well, as Zeka is joining this play. They are truly overloading this top side of the map. As now, looking for a turn onto Zeus, perhaps. The rest of HLE trying to now get themselves into position. It's taking them some time, as the Dragon's already gone down on the other side of the map. And there is the kick flash out at Shun. Guma taken down. And on the other side of the map, he's left hanging.
It's so good for BLG. They defend while they're taking Dragon. They defend the weak side there. On, slips in. He's happy to tank the engage. Wait a second. Okay.
Just
at
barely.
least they got the crab, you can say, for HLE. But BLG do so good taking the objective bot and then defending the other side.
Oh, Delight making his way in. There's a Hextech ultimatum onto Viper as Kanavi wanting to make his way in. He will be able to get there, although, never mind, elects not to go forward.
Engage.
Now On could be in a little bit of trouble. Does have that Eclipse to make him so durable as Kanavi gets the next Cyclone to take down the support. But the Monkey will be traded for it, and Bin picks up the kill.
But it's BLG who've just been using these globals.
Sitting there and defending. Now go again.
Yeah, Zeus going to try and leap his way away. Kanavi for the defense. Delight going to be showing up as well. On obviously is right here as well, as the Rift Herald will be given on over, or at least forced to reset. HLE, they need to say goodbye to Zeus, but there's the Deadly Flourish. That's the pickoff onto On, but he buys so much time. The curtains have been called now as the bullets fly. Delight should be answered, though, and Shun, so incredibly low, but is going to survive. Public execution is a little private this time, as HLE will back away, but BLG, once again, it's them on the objective.
And it's the TP from Bin that gets the members from BLG into position to cover for the play, support for support, but objective control for BLG.
Yeah, they pick up the extra one. BLG had the option there. They're like, okay, we could.
Oh,
he got
dear.
spotted.
Yeah, spotted on the Scryer's Bloom. Now looking to try and get himself out. Warrior Trickster comes through. Delight is going to try and defend. They want to save the Monkey, and it looks like maybe they'll be successful. Flash out of the way of the Solar Flare. Here is Zeus with the Counter-Strike and the Leap Strike trying to get himself out. But now Hextech ultimatum to cut off Knight, and On is the one that they turn on to. The Incinerate helps grab that one, and Kanavi's even able to get out of there. But it's coming up. That is going to be Infernal Soul point for BLG if they're able to lock that one down. Now Zeus could be in a little bit of trouble here, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. Solar Flare comes through. The layering of CC is perfect, and Knight is going to grab his... I mean, the best you can hope for is a steal, but I don't think he's coming back from it. And that is going to be that. Soul point picked up for BLG.
Whole top side of the map for BLG accelerated and ahead, and that's just where you want it. You want those solo lanes on their 2-item power spikes.
Herald to take the tier 1 in the mid lane, and now HLE trying to congregate on mass the mid, and it shuts down the potential for the 2v1 they were looking for in bot lane.
Exactly, and a bit of a Herald ride here, but it's going to be a very short one as Gumayushi is able to help Kanavi take that one down. Now Zeka moving towards his top side, throws the bear down. But Knight is so tanky.
The next one, as the play top side from BLG is looking pretty good.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall available here as well. There's the kickback onto Kanavi. Solar Flare going to connect onto Zeka, but only for the slow. Kanavi's still going to die though as Shun blocks that one down as Zeka flashes over the top, sidesteps very nicely, but he's still dead, ladies and gentlemen. Bin locks it down. BLG are just so
bad. It's going to continue in the series and you're going to get smashed again. Well, you might not get smashed in the same way,
yeah.
But BLG still are just looking so much better.
And the
it
guy
feels pretty similar, to be honest.
And the guy you tried to shut down has nearly a 2,000 gold lead, now wants to pick up Delight to really make it that much worse.
Delight going to flash away, but Zeus may not be as lucky as Bin moving towards the minion wave. Zeus fighting against On, feeling better about that one as Zekra is booking it towards his bottom side, throws down the bear, but Shun gets on in there. Delight finds a Hextech ultimatum. It's taking them everything to take down Bin, and they're still not able to get it. Finally, he goes down, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen, as Knight's able to kill Zeus as a response. Another Realm Warp gets in there. Gumayushi playing defense. He might be able to keep them alive for a little bit longer as the threaded volley from Viper not able to do too much, and the flick back onto his former mid lane. Get themselves a reverse sweep.
It's looking that way.
It is not over just yet as Gumayushi's going to have to flash and use everything to get out of the way of the Weaver's Wall.
Viper wanted to add one to himself there, but not quite able to do so as BLG. I mean, this is so impressive. This is the BLG that we got to see. The advantage still there for him.
Oh dear, there is the Dragon Soul as well. Infernal Soul picked up for BLG. 8,000, I mean, it's the same game as game 1.
I mean, the coaching staff celebrating early, but I would say actually it's not even early. I'd say it's right on time.
Yeah. I think they need to do the celebrating now because they might just plan on how to do this in the next game very soon as well, as Viper getting out of the way of Zeus the best he can. Kanavi trying to cyclone his way to safety, but everyone is getting attacked from every angle possible. And Zeus is just like, well, get me the heck out of here. Viper knows exactly where he is, throws him towards Knight. The gift that keeps on giving is BLG. They're the Harlem Globetrotters today.
It's absolutely insane. There is no keeping up with this team right now for Hanwha Life. And honestly, like, this is...
Viper is everywhere. Like, wasn't he just top lane? What is he doing down here?
You've got
they're catching him between the turrets in the mid lane. Zeka going to get thrown back, delivered to Bin. Oh my goodness, that looks like a strategy people use in co-op versus AI.
I mean, this is crazy, Atlas. The BLG are making the #1 LCK team actually look like bots.
Yeah, like they just cannot respond in time. This is unbelievable from BLG. They're now looking for this inhibitor turret in the mid lane. They're realm warping to the top lane. They are attacking every single front. And HLE just don't even really know where they're getting hit anymore. The Solar Flare going to connect onto Gumayushi. He's backing away. And at least they know that when the Nexus turrets are under fire, that is all that BLG are going to be hitting, and so they can be in the area for it.
But you've got Zhonya's, Seeker's Arm Guard, GA for BLG. You don't have to do it once, you got to do it twice to find the magic for HLE, and Bin is fishing.
Well, Zeus looking to see whether he can at least stay alive against this, but On is moving over. There's the counter-strike. Viper in a little bit of trouble. As Zeus trying to keep himself alive. Kanavi is going to be able to get out of there. The question is, can anyone else? His Delight is basically dead to start this one off. He does manage to get Viper in the back line, but that is all he's going to be able to claim. The last shot from Guma doesn't do anything at all, and he's desperately trying to defend. 2 inhibitors down at 27 minutes, and BLG, they'll just go back and spend their hordes of gold.
And HLE, they're probably already, wait a second.
Yeah, Knight in a little bit of trouble perhaps as Kanavi gets over there. Doesn't waste any time, uses the Cyclone immediately. There's the double knock-up to come on through, but Knight just kills him.
Yeah, Knight's never alone.
It's usually game 2 Billy. What happens if game 3 is the exact
Game
same?
3 Stewart. Okay, well, BLG are looking for an angle, and Bin will find one, gets into the backline, eliminates Gumayushi there. Zeka died at some point in that play, but I didn't quite see it. And there is going to be the Cyclone onto Knight. He's going for it. If at first you don't succeed, you're not going to succeed in this series, as BLG will wipe them from the rift, and it feels like mercy here in game number 2, as Viper just teleports in, looks to get rid of this last Nexus turret. And gentlemen, I think this is the quickest we've made it to a match point so far here at MSI, and it's in the winners final.
I mean, the question is, what's the quickest 3-0 we've had at this event? Because BLG are looking like they want breakers.
My goodness. I've got some whiplash. I'm going to solve that as we throw it over to the analysts.
The most unlikely candidate for the biggest shellacking at MSI so far had to be this one.
Flex. This is what happened with T1
Wait,
where they got cut out before.
So where are they flexing it, though?
Yeah,
That's the
never mind.
question.
Yeah.
So the Zaya is coming in. I was thinking maybe Viper was going to play Skana this time.
Yeah.
So I was right there with you.
Yeah,
I was right there with you. But no, not going to be the case. We are going to have the Lovers Duo there towards the bottom side of the map.
And it should lead, wait a second, the collapse coming from BLG. They want to scrap this one out.
Yep, the flash over from Kanavi is Knight trying to get out of there, does find the Solar Snare as Gumayushi, he wants to turn his attention to the mid laner of BLG. First blood as the chomp comes down, and BLG just have to get out of there. This is the pace we were hoping to see from HLE, and I guess it's better late than never.
And this is the Kanavi.
Feels like the first Drake for HLE this series, is it? I think they did just sweep Souls in both of the first 2 games. So there's their first one. HLE have realized.
And since he's so far ahead of Shun, he can just force objective after objective.
We'll be able to take that first little grub. Zeka moving over here as well as Delight in position. He's on the Melio, not necessarily going to be starting off any fights. They do get control of the Banana Brush though, but now Bin is moving in. Grand Entrance is going to come down as On is in a lot of trouble, but the Mundo is able to get on top of Shun. The kennel goes down, Shun just having to get himself out of there. Zeus dealing with the rest of them. The quickness comes through, can On make something happen here? The answer's no, as Zeka locks down the Scorpion, the Crocodile running for the hills, and another briefcase will come on down. Kanavi distracted by a camp. In the meantime, Viper is fighting Goomer, and there he sweeps him up with the feather recall. Like that. So Gumayushi parking himself up here. And Kanavi getting a little bit of damage himself. Another exhaust comes down. Featherstorm for the damage. Gumayushi tries to keep himself alive and fails at the task. And Viper will kill him in a second.
Side. Lucian down here is disconnected from the rest of HLE. He's going to take a while to walk over.
Death Ray comes down. Knight able to avoid that. This Mountain Drake taken down to 50%, but pretty durable as far as the Dragon is concerned. This Ward down to 50%, but spots Goomer on his way over. And now might be HLE's turn to make something happen. Never mind, Smite comes through.
Not walking up. Nobody actually going to fall in the play and just seed the extra Dragon.
Right, Zeus chasing after Bin, or has Bin chasing after Zeus? I think it's Zeus chasing after Bin at the moment. Kanavi's moving up. Dominus is there, but I don't know whether Bin's going to be able to survive this one. Slices and dices, creates some space, and in comes the Skana as well, but Zeus flashes on top of the Crocodile. Kanavi held in position and taken out as Knight looking to try and answer the play as well. On gets over here. Zeus doesn't look too worried about it just yet. Zeka's moved up, and Delight is now over the wall, able to support his Mundo, who just wanders.
And the Victor is going to be able to get the push. They're going to be able to get this second tower actually for themselves because they already took mid lane one down.
Scales incredibly into the later portion of the game. Zeus with a very early heart steal, may even try and stack it on Viper here.
Yeah, he doesn't have Featherstorm available. He does have the exhaust, but Mundo is not tired. Zeus is just walking him down, immune to the CC and the backhand, or the back briefcase, if you will, as he takes him out.
He just slowly walked up and down smashed Viper.
It looked so gentlemanly as well when he did it. Just flung it through the airs. Okay, there's the Grand Entrance. The quickness comes down as well. Impaled. Zeus, has he noticed yet? That's my question. On now looking to fight Delight because he knows he cannot fight this Mundo. He's got his special brew running. Does now wear off at least, but BLG are pushed away from the turret.
Well, maybe we're gonna have to like take a poll or something. What is actually the biggest difference this game? Is it Kanavi having the better jungle early on? Is it Zeka actually not getting gapped by Knight? Or is it Zeus on this Mundo?
Well, there's a teleport in. The Mundo is up here one more time. It's Kanavi. He is not going down to this one. The slice, the dice. Is the kennel going to be available? The flash comes through. There's no turret here, though, Bin. Where are you going? Kanavi eats him, and BLG are going to have to run away from
It's just about to fall. And Zeus, like, when he finishes this Warmogs, I think basically completes everything he needs at this stage. So, for HLE, they're now invading Shun. He doesn't
get, if they're not there already, it's going to get kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly, I kind
of... He's got that fire kick, as now Kanavi with Shelly over the wall. They're going to look to knock down this inner turret. They are keeping up the pace in this game. And Bin, let's see whether he can keep this turret alive. A charge is going to come through. He definitely cannot. Now, will the Dominus actually keep him alive? That's the question, as Kanavi's just beating him with a club. Slice and Dice will get him out of there, as Kanavi is going to take the Shellfish exit. Viper is able to flash his way out. That is the smite to come through from Shun. Gets the Impale over the base gate, and Kanavi will finally be shut down.
Kanavi was having a little bit...
Shun here. They are on the Baron, as we can see. Umiushi taking a lot of damage from it as well. Relentlessly pursuing away. It's not necessarily how pursuing works, but he is going to have to go back. And I feel like that definitely benefits BLG. Even if HLE have a composition that scales beautifully, I think BLG needs some time to breathe in this one. As Zeus does about 1 trillion damage to the inhibitor turret.
And now let's wait for the Warmogs. Yeah, I mean, they can just hold them here. As we've gone over, the scaling is so good for HLE.
Oh dear, well, the snare is going to connect, but Shun is just taking so much damage. There is the pillar finally coming down. The Arcane Storm chasing, but Shun still needs to go back. And HLE should be able to just take this Baron. It's even a teleport from Zeus there committing to this one.
Yeah, the silver lining was that Gumayushi wasn't there. The big, massive storm cloud is now everyone in HLE is on Baron.
Look at Zeus' health bar. That's too many.
That's a lot of bars. Count those bars right now.
Yeah, that looks like a or possibly even just win the game.
Honestly, Shun under attack again.
Yeah, put into the kennel one more time. That is not where Scorpions like to go. As Delight, will be able to help holding him in place. There is the fire kick. Zeus grabs it with a briefcase. And the Skana New.
The wave is coming. Mundo exists in the mid lane, so BLG are petrified.
And Kanavi exists on this bottom lane as well. I mean, he took the first 2 games personally, and I do not blame him. It was a monstrous performance from BLG, and this must feel very cathartic to be able to finally get some revenge. As he is just taking a lot of damage here. Can take some tribute to try and get that health bar back again. As speaking of health bars, here comes Zeus. And this is going to be the base broken. Gumayushi able to freely hit this turret as the Arcane Storm is chasing down BLG. Gumayushi is so incredibly far up here. He's got a lot of frontliners to stand behind. He's decided not to, as 2 inhibitor turrets are going to fall. 2 inhibitors probably to fall at the same time. BLG haven't been able to take a turret so far this game, as HLE moved to an 8,000 gold lead, 13 seconds on the Dragon, and HLE can just move back and grab it before spending their mountains of gold.
Yeah, BLG's only hope. They have to make this play now before the Dragon gets here, before that soul comes in. Otherwise, HLE will just complete.
Oh, Shun.
Oh no, the kennel is so perfectly placed. He does manage to drive through it, is on with the quickness, not able to do anything as Delight just blocks it. Bin looking for a flank angle, but HLE, they picked that one up as well, and Gumayushi is just being a typewriter over BLG. Bin has to flash to get over the kennel, and now Zeus, where did he come from? Well, it is going to be Bin locking down the kill onto Kanavi. That is the smite now dead, but the top laner is also down. HLE, I don't think Knight over here as well, as the briefcase is going to land, and Gumayushi, he is the one that's now jungling, as Kanavi is dead for another 11 seconds as well. He's got a Randuin's when he does come back, and HLE just feeling phenomenal. The Spirit Visage was completed. Zeka just bounces on top of Shun with that blast cone, and that is going to be the soul picked up, and Zeka removing the soul of Shun here in his jungle.
Yeah, Shun wanted to eat a little bit. Just a little jungle camp, please. And Knight slaps his hand away.
Well, the Milio is dead. Delight is just going to be caught backing in a place where he's not really alone. Well, HLE back to it once again after they've spent that money, as Gumayushi on 3.5 items right now. The quickness to try and hold Kanavi in position. And he's wondering why.
Committed.
As okay, looking for Zeus as in goes Bin, trying to find a flank angle, gets a Mega Cone to get himself the heck out of there. The question is he out? The Subjugate is now running on the Renekton is on, speaking of which, he's going to take a full culling to the face, and the Arcane Storm is just terrifying, completely blocks them off, and Zeus just walks in to 4 people and selects Viper as his target. He'll kill everyone. Gumayushi thought that he might have been able to take down the Skarner there. Zeus' health bar does not move. He teleports underneath the turret and will be able to take these Nexus turrets as well. Look at that health bar if you can. We need better resolution to see how much health Zeus has. And HLE come alive finally here in Daejeon.
HLE are not done yet. Analyst desk, break it down.
What is there to break down? This Mundo was huge. Absolutely insane. Talk about...
It could be the Gwen.
Well, we've just...
I'm not going to lie, lads. You've had enough time to think
this
about
is
this,
more
but
fun.
that would be cool.
Yeah, there's a hen.
Okay.
Gonna come through for Zeus. And he doesn't get punished in this lane. I actually really like this pick.
Yeah, I think it sets up nicely and works well with the dive, right? The Grim Deliverance does a huge amount of work, especially.
Side as Bin is fighting against Zeus here in this top lane. And there's a Grim Deliverance. Bin gonna have to dash his way out of this one. The passive is stacked up. The flash in, gets the knock up, and there's first blood over to Zeka, and Anka's gonna connect here as well. Well, Knight's moving over. Kanavi is gonna pull off of these grubs as there is Zeus looking for some angles towards Bin, but Bin went all out. But maybe he's going out of this top lane once again. As Zeus, the sidestep is going to mean that it's gonna be all right. He did have the passive, so he's not going down just yet. And in fact, is able to walk it off for the moment. Yeah, now Delight looking to move its way in, and the passive is gone, and so Zeus is just dead. Maybe wanted to go for a little bit more of a fight there instead, but will be going down. That is a good answering kill here from BLG.
Yeah, he gets kited out in the roam over from the rest of BLG. They get the kill. They're also going to be able to get the grubs here. Delight and Kanavi still looking at them. He wants to steal away one. He's got a smite charge.
Yeah, Anka going to connect somehow onto Knight. That was a great thread of the needle. Only level 5 Delight, though, is now on, taking a lot of damage. There's the cease and desist. True shot barrage over the top of HLE's Kanavi, trying to stay alive, but Viper comes on over to lock him down. The teleport in from Zeus. Now we know why they wanted to start this one as on, having to get out of there. Gumayushi moving up now as well. Has been in amongst the fight, but the Chains of Corruption will hold him down. He tries to get away, but the Grim Deliverance is going to come through from Zeus to block that one off. Another anchor from Delight.
That comes through is just too much for him to try and get away from.
In the meantime, we've got another battle. As now Kanavi taking a lot of damage. Shun just walking on over. Bin gonna come through, but Zeus gets to the a great thing. Zeka also being able to get 100% kill contribution as well as kill himself is going to feel nice. Is on trying to get Delight out of his jungle, but that is not going to quite work. As HLE take the first strike, next one going to be a Cloud. As Delight looking for a hook angle, see whether he can actually get in there. Does find it onto On. And there's the cease and desist. They should be able to get the Nico here. Depth charge is onto the Ezreal though. So On will be able to escape. Bolt Breaker gets Kanavi out. That felt like a free kill.
So that BLG's jungler is going to be on the bottom side. So the Aurora just going to back away for Zeka, not wanting to contest this Orianna.
Yeah, manages to clear out the wave as well. So
3 members of HLE here.
The thing for HLE, as Kanavi goes for it anyway.
Yeah. On taking a bit of damage. Kanavi sidesteps on those Tangle Bobs. Gets the Vault Breaker max range. Cease and desist. They hold him in position. The Shockwave's decent, but the hook is better. Shun's still going to make his way down, though. The Grand Starfall is good for the Grim Deliverance. Looking to turn the play around. Gets the knock up on the Knight, but still, he dies. Couldn't stack it up. And now, Gumayushi turns up. Looks to get the snipe on Knight. Doesn't do nearly enough damage. And Shun picks up a double. And it's Blast Cones for the escape here for HLE. Grabbing a double dragon if they could. They are beelining in that direction. And they have a lot of vision towards this bottom side.
Hextech Protobell's just completed for Knight, though. 2-item spike. Kind of nice here for the Orianna if BLG want to contest. But honestly, I think with the position they're in, they're just going to be happy to take the plate for a bit in the top side, put a bit more pressure. But as I say that, they're moving in. But I think this dragon's gone.
Yeah, it's just going to be taken here by Kanavi.
Yeah, I mean, good lead-up vision. So much possibility of getting a good flank, but everybody's going bottom, so kind of hard to go attack Knight and even get his flash. A couple different angles here, but Zeus just straight walked out.
Yeah.
Through the brush there, and now they get a pick of their own.
The Anchor's going to miss, but the Chains of Corruption do land, and there is On going down. They'll take any pick that they can get. as Knight was actually still have the composition that can select a target to die. As, all right, there is a little bit of a route onto Zeker, as On taking a lot of damage here. We'll be able to back away as Knight just deals with this top outer turret.
Yeah, and BLG basically giving
Viper on Ezreal. This guy's been a magician late game on this champion, and Orianna needs no introduction as far as value later on is concerned. The Rift Herald is not going to do very much of anything at all as On goes maybe a little bit too deep. They do manage to take down a turret here as the Dragon is going to be secured by Shun. Looks to try and turn it here onto Delight. We need a depth charge to come through. It'll get the knock-up onto Shun as now Viper trying to play off to the side. And Zeus, can he stack up the passive this time? The answer is yes. Grim Deliverance is going to come in, but it's going to be a taxi out for Bin. They kill him though before he can escape. And On is thrown through the wall as Between Worlds came on down. Viper playing this one out gorgeously though. The arcade shifts the double kill. And there's the resurrection, but where is he being resurrected to? Zeus comes up and kind of wishes he had stayed down.
BLG
well.
then On strikes. Huge shockwave, the pop blossom to follow, the snipe onto Gumayushi with the spear. BLG.
And this is something that Viper got some notoriety on for quite some years, both in the LCK and the LPL.
Up creep without the Varus, so just take a pop shot to the tower and BLG happy to support it.
And yeah, they just can't walk towards the orb. The orb is just too frightening. That's Azonia's fully completed here, 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. And Knight, Grand Starfall does bring Shun up there as now Viper possibly caught out of position. Kanavi going to be dancing away from him though, and now we'll see whether Zeus can keep himself alive for long enough to get that passive back up again. The Grim Deliverance comes down. Pop Blossom going to connect, and they destroy Zeus. HLE did get one back.
Coming out the better for wear off of that. Sure, you do lose Zeus, but you get a kill, you get the tower, you get some much needed gold.
Into their point and click and try to be the delivery. So Dragon will be avoided for now for HLE. Guma not in sight, so your smite is safe.
Control here for BLG. They look to just really isolate this Baron, make sure there is no vision as Kanavi goes in. Not sure about that one. Zeus off to the other side is making that one work, but Zeku goes between the worlds. Viper off to the side is tagged by Delight. Shun now getting taken down to the GA, and Kanavi just going to die because he doesn't have that item. Zeus should be able to use his passive to stay alive, but once again, there are a few too many people in the vicinity. He does get the ulti, crashes down on top of Shun. On is going to be executed as well, as Bin is looking for the angle. Zeker and Gumayushi still alive. Delight limping from the battle, and there is Bin taking him down. Guma will be ushered towards his inhibitor turret, but is he even safe there? There's an orb on top of Bin, making him nearly immortal, and Gumayushi will be obliterated by this Cassante. Zeker now with a couple of invaders in his house. We're going to try and see whether he can get rid of them. But BLG, they just want to head over towards maybe a Baron, but they don't have a jungler.
Yeah, BLG, they will chase Guma to the ends of the earth there, inside your own base. And they finish the kill, they'll finish the tower, and they will turn to finish the job.
Well, they do get some information as to what's happening on this Baron. But Banana Brush control is going to be there for BLG. They are ready for the turn. Pathmaker there from Bin. The Baron down very, very low. Kanavi just not there in time. The pullback does come through, but Bin may not be the target they're looking for. Chains of Corruption. They do layer this CC onto the Cassante, but he is an absolute brick wall, and he just jogged
That
it.
poke is not going to stick around for very long, and it feels more and more like BLG are starting to punch their ticket to finals.
Not to mention, Kanavi now finally with his GA, as there is one on Zeus as well, who does clear up this bottom outer turret to try and bring them back into touching distance with this gold. But it's the compositions that are starting to become a problem for HLE.
Yeah, they're going to have to find some crazy angle, and they're going for it now. Teleport with the flank from Delight.
That is definitely an angle. Depth charge comes in, and Zeker will find it. Takes down Viper. Okay, that is a big pick here for HLE. Still 4 minutes on a Baron. There's 4 minutes on a Drake. Not a whole lot to go for, but maybe they can take a turret or two.
They bide their time. They give away the Dragon. They split push, and they wait for an opportunity. Now another.
Yeah, Shockwave going to connect on to Zeus as he gets the knock-up on tonight, pulls him back. Grim Deliverance as Shun is now doing battle. Gumayushi does not want to 1v1 the Pantheon, and now he knows why. As Kanavi going to get pulled away by Bin, put down to the GA. Shun going to follow suit. Zeus is dealt with, and Bin is now just going to destroy this Vi with the help of On, who actually takes the kill.
Burned in the end. Zeka and Delight have to hold on. Decent damage on tonight, but can he do more?
Well, there's 25 stacks on that Magi's, man. If that orb comes in anywhere near any of these HLE members, it could just be lights out, and that Shockwave is just about back up again. First inhibitor going to go down, but BLG, a lot of respect here as they will back away.
So they didn't have the necessary pieces to actually finish that play, and now BLG are on the offense.
Well, Shun going to get knocked up. No GA this time around as he's caught by Zeus. He gets into the backline, but he's just obliterated. My God, the damage out of Viper. True shot barrage to sail on through. But Zeka did manage to get himself a kill. Now looking to try and take down this Ezreal once again. As he's looking to do some funny business, does have the teleport and not going to be able to use it. He'll be taken out. It's On that picks up that kill, and it's now only Guma left to try and pick up the pieces, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's a 1 for 4. Gumayushi has to clear the wave, but stepping up is so dangerous against BLG right now.
Okay, will there be enough wave clear? That is the question. I do not think so, as Ben also going to make sure that Gumayushi's not allowed to press any buttons. He can tank up 2 Nexus turrets, and it looks to me like BLG has a date in the finals. HLE are going to have to go through another target if they want the rematch, and honestly, with this performance, I don't know whether anyone wants to face off against BLG.
And will they be able to even touch Knight if they do get a rematch? Here's Deathless in this Orianna game, improves that KDA. Analyst desk, what's your takeaway?
We hated his build. We love this play. Builds don't matter in Pro League of Legends. That's our take.
Listen, he's the best player in the world right now. He carried this game with the first pick Orianna. I'd say Viper had an amazing performance on the Ezreal.
The help from Viper. Viper was insane this game.
Orianna was 3-0.
Their team is incredible, but throughout this series, Knight, I think, was the best performer on this BLG team, who are now in the grand finals of MSI.
Our upper player of the series is Knight. I think we had it.
Like a death stance, I think you get not a death stance. If you can go towards that early match resist, I think you're in an okay spot, but just going to go for the Mbessa, looking to see if he can carry from that top lane.
Yeah, going to be going towards the Mbessa, and there is quite a bit of setup, so there are some
Stops that hook shot.
This is actually huge, though, because he used this steadfast presence, and Jarvan is coming, so he won't have that now as Kanavi's coming in.
Kanavi ready to make the play here for the bottom side. Isles trying to get enough distance, but he does get caught by the EQ combo. Tries to tackle Kanavi away, but no! First blood over to Gumayushi.
Berserker tries to get something back. And that's why the early kill for Gumayushi is a little unfortunate for line, because it does give the tier to the Ziggs to enable him to push significantly more, which opens up Delight to move more. Even now, that early dragon going across the HLE, this has become such a strong stacking combo in this meta. Get 2 dragons.
In the years since then, which is incredibly impressive to me, to be able to just advance and advance and advance in your career.
Well, now we've got another play coming up here in the top side as Dokla tries to use public execution to get away, but no! Decimating smash with the follow-up from Kanavi. And now Isles and Saint trying to get something back, but they found themselves trapped in the Cataclysm. HLE still got a 3v2. Decimating smash finds another. Isles is killed off by Delight's Ignite, and HLE are burning bright in the top lane.
Oh, trying to get one more Inspired!
Inspired goes in for the dive on Kanavi. He wants to get something, but he has to trade his own life to do it. And HLE come out on top in the play. It's going to be so difficult for LYON to punch through him as HLE have started up the grubs. First grub going to be secured here by Kanavi. As LYON arrives on the scene, HLE will walk away.
Yeah, Kanavi didn't have the flash, so a little bit nervous to stick around as Kiana's ultimate was just about to come back off cooldown. So LYON able to bully them off the creep, should be able to pick up 2 of the Void grubs and just try to position themselves further on this top side to enable Berserker to catch the wave.
One thing I will say, Sion obviously is a brick wall, but they do have some ways to deal with it, particularly Isles and his ult. If you can actually knock someone like the Sion out, if he's going for a Q channel, you knock him out of the fight, all of a sudden, all of the targets are pretty juicy.
Very difficult to potentially make your way forward. Saint trying to approach here on the left side. Inspired over the wall. Goes in for supreme display of talent, but Inspired is killed first. Gumayushi with the Mega Inferno Bomb. Isles trapped inside the Cataclysm. HLE has lost their support. but they've killed the enemy
that set up that win.
No, and I completely agree. I mean, this is something that whoa, we're going to see a fight.
Oh, Dokla goes in for the public execution, wants the solo kill onto Zeka, but Delight is ready to try to stop him. Dokla's all the way underneath the turret, and he grabs the kill. Hextech ultimatum keeps him underneath the turret for so long that Delight gets one in trade. It's a 1-for-1. Gumayushi, and the zone control that Ziggs provides is a very tall task for LYON, as Dokla trapped underneath the tier 1 turret up here. It's a 4-man play coming out from HLE, and it's way too easy. Kanavi takes survive, scatter the weak into the unleashed power from Zeka, takes the enemy support down to 10% HP as HLE calls in the cavalry and looks for a counterpunch. Gumayushi gonna throw a bomb, won't get a whole lot out of it. Realm Warp to try to get Saint away, but Isles is already down. Mega Inferno Bomb yet again, but one is gonna be traded back by LYON. Delight about to die here too. Saint's gonna take the kill, and LYON have a 2-for-1 so far. Zeus and Dokla both arrive into the fight as Dokla continues looking potentially for an opportunity here. The Rift Herald down to half HP, and LYON have control over the objective.
And that is massive. Isles with such an aggressive play. I don't think HLE were expecting that because Isles was on 10-20% HP, gets the flash stun into the Kiana ult, the Jhin ult opens up.
We will trade 1, but we will get 2. And it's kind of been the story of how they're trying to go for this just far, and it's working out relatively well for them.
LYON are going to secure the first turret in the top lane by focusing on that because they know that HLE want to go for the 3rd Drake now. Jungler and support nearby. Kanavi and Delight spotted out now as Zeka pushes forward towards the tier 1 turret. Isles, nice use of the steadfast presence, as now they want to go in after Kanavi. The damage comes through and Kanavi dies, but he trades his life for Inspired. Both junglers already out of the picture as Gumayushi's going to get caught. The public execution lives up to its name, and Gumayushi falls.
Grab this dragon. They focused onto Inspired. They forced his flash defensively. Isles has been so quick on the reactions. They tried to burst down Delight, but next, that'll be another big one. Guma at this point in the game, I'm thinking is probably just going straight towards Roa.
Delight tries to go in for the dive. Berserker gets himself away for now, but there's your Mega Inferno Bomb, and Gumayushi torches him. Now Zeus has to try to get out of the way of the turret as Isles uses the Keeper's Verdict to knock away HLE as the remaining players try to escape. Isles still here on the front line, but he and Dokla have to try to fall back. Kanavi goes further forward as Dokla tries to stand and fight. Inspired and Saint can't provide enough damage, and the dust settles as a 1-for-1.
Zeus' health bar is just too tanky to get through. You end up with the pick onto Berserker and the
Ziggs and Syndra is so difficult for LYON. HLE knows it. They're grouped up here in the mid lane, and Saint is caught. Hextech ultimatum will seal his fate, and the Mega Inferno Bomb burns his bones.
It's just gone. They've got us. The soul is theirs.
It's a beautiful play there. Delight setting it up. Hookshot flash catches Saint, and Saint gets destroyed there. As we see the Dragon for LYON is one-shotting one of these carries because they are going full damage here. None of them working towards that Zhonya's at all so far. And so that is your hope. You're not going to find that angle, and HLE have been turning off the lights.
Yeah, Isles discovered by Kanavi here in the jungle. HLE bringing in some backup. Kanavi has to try to disengage as Guma just throws Isles right onto the minefield with the satchel. Do they want to try to challenge for this? Inspired wrapping around behind the enemy red buff as Zeka and Gumayushi try to keep everybody else on LYON, zoned away. Delight trying to mark Inspired, make sure he can't jump into the pit and look to steal the Baron. Delight with a hook shot, Inspired stunned up. Gumayushi's very low, stays alive for now, sidestep Deadly Flourish. Inspired with the kill on Delight, but now HLE's gonna try to run. The teleport arrives from Isles. He's in the middle of everybody, he flashes away here with a steadfast presence, tackling right back into HLE. Damage over the wall from Gumayushi. Isles is already down yet again. Mega Inferno Bomb forces resurrection out of Inspired. Dokla dies, but Zeus follows. The zombie's gonna reanimate as Berserker's gonna try to deal with Kanavi and Zeka. Kanavi's gonna lose his Guardian Angel as Zeus' dead body pulverizes Inspired. Saint tries to get away. Zeka, Guma, Kanavi.
There's still life in them, but it may have just been stuffed out.
And you could see in the damage recap there the big difference between the bottom lane carries. As Dokla and Delight get into a bit of a scrap, Isles already down below half HP. Delight should die. Hextech ultimatum isn't going to do a whole lot as Zeus arrives in now with the teleport. Immediately rejected with the Keeper's Verdict. Kanavi goes in for the massive 3-man engage, followed up with a Scatter the Weak. Berserker at least gets the kill. Kanavi is down. Dokla's in the middle of 2. Zeka takes him out alongside Zeus. The double kill for the Syndra. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but LYON's health bars are critically low. Gumayushi and Zeus continue their push.
They can go for this bot lane tier 2, still make it worth for HLE. LYON trying to see if they can find any moment to get a pick. but just being turned around thanks to that TP from Zeus.
It absolutely is, and every time you think LYON might have a chance, you have to look.
Got this mega fed Ziggs as you're pushing the enemy base, and these satchels will obliterate turrets.
Yeah, I really think this has been one of the strongest versions of HLE we've seen, with the Ziggs for Gumayushi so safe. He's been so potent on it, and Delight being able to move around the Camille, but
LYON's
they've
trying
stuck
to
him behind.
away Elder here. We'll see if they can actually finish it. HLE don't know yet.
This is a wild gambit coming out from LYON. As Kanavi has approached, Saint Inspired looking to put the damage here onto the objective. Mega Inferno Bomb over the top of the objective. Bounty is going to be claimed. Elder secured now for the LYON side. Saint trying to get himself away. Dokla dives in and he finds the first kill. Gumayushi's caught inside the steadfast presence, but he flashes over the wall. He's going to be taken out. Public execution coming out from Dokla. LYON on the hunt, looking for a little bit more, but Zeka goes in with the unleashed power. Kanavi is taken low, slammed back into the wall by Isles, and they will execute him with a Dragon's Roar. Zeus and Zeka getting away. Champions. LYON are going to have to execute perfectly if they want a chance, but Berserker has already lost half his HP. As Inspired's going to be your target up here on the top side. Kanavi goes in after him. Inspired fighting inside the Cataclysm, getting away for now. Zeus charges in. Isles is about to die. Gumayushi's already found the first kill, and Inspired is locked up. He's knocked out of his Guardian Angel, and LYON are trying to run. Berserker's bullets do nothing in the face of HLE. Zeka is dominating, and LYON is crushed. HLE pushing for the throat.
HLE saw their target. It was Inspired when he showed on top wave, and the rest of LYON are falling as HLE want to take it.
Berserker is nothing but a golden trophy for the LCK #1 seed. All 5 players stand tall. They will march to the Nexus. They will bulldoze the Nexus turrets. And after a 39-minute battle, HLE take game 1.
What a back and forth game 1, but really, what a performance from Guma. Desk, what do you think?
I think I just saw LYON's heart break in 4K. Unfortunately, they fought their way back into this one, but HLE did not waver and brought it home nonetheless.
That Elder, though, oh my goodness, bringing the excitement
really
into a game.
Gragas would be cool. Gragas is something that is very hard to punish in almost any lane, and I'm looking at MF, I'm looking at Orianna, I'm looking at champions that are potentially very easy for Gragas to get in on, and there is a ton of go buttons here. Alistar, Gragas, Lee Sin have spotted the play not as clean as they would have liked. You know, they were trying on the initial trade that Saint was going for to get his 6 and go for the all-in with that gank, but now Saint does have to be a little bit careful here as Zeka has Shockwave and has the power to send Saint packing.
Yep, Kanavi also working on taking this first Drake. It's ever so slightly slower than
HLE are trying to beat them to the punch and start this immediately.
All right, Grubs have already begun. Here for Kanavi, he will smite down the first one. LYON shows up, Inspired flies in, wants to grab this grub here, should have no difficulty doing it. That one is secured, 1 for 1 so far. Isles trying to keep Kanavi away, wants to try to get the stun here. Paranoia right back towards him. There's no unbreakable will here for the Alistar. The Shockwave's not going to find anybody here just yet. Bullet time over the wall coming out from Gumayushi. Hanwha Life are looking for some kills. They haven't quite found them, but Isles is trapped behind enemy lines. The only thing left to choose is who gets first blood, and it's the man with the gun in his hand. First blood over to Gumayushi.
LYON tried to play it slow. You end up looking at the Alistar, doesn't end up using that auto attack into the spell shield of the Nocturne.
Right. But Inspired and LYON are going to be the side to start it up first, but Kanavi's hanging out over the back side of the wall. Zeka also has the Shockwave ready to go, so keep your eyes out for the combo. Dokla with a nice knock on Zeus back into the turret. Meanwhile, the team fight down here for the bottom side river at the same time. The Paranoia is already going to be used. LYON's got to be careful here, focusing down on towards the junglers instead, but Kanavi is going to die to Berserker. The first kill goes over to LYON as Berserker gets a double kill. HLE's on the run as Delight and Gumayushi try to escape. Isles on the chase here. Finds the auto attack for the stun. Meanwhile, up at the top side, Zeus looking to find the dive on the Dokla. Nearly kills him off here with a Glacial Storm. Dokla stays alive. Zeus is not. Follow-up auto attack stun. Inspired hanging around right behind him. Wants to at least steal away the big Krug here. Inspired and the rest of LYON now. They found Kanavi inside the jungle. He pops the Paranoia, trying to keep himself alive. Kanavi down to 1 hit. He tries to get away over the wall, but Saint is ready to assassinate him, and LYON find a kill. They still have a 500 gold lead as a team, but LYON is here ready to challenge yet again. HLE already have it down to below half HP. Isles here on the side, wants to try to control Delight. Knocks Zeka back over the wall as HLE try to turn onto Dokla instead, putting a lot of damage here into the Gragas. The Rift Herald is going to be secured by LYON as Saint and Isles have to try to get back away. Saint jumping in, wants to go grab a kill, and he gets one onto Zayas. Now Isles with a two-man knockup, bullet time over the wall, takes him out. Kanavi trying to get away as Inspired goes in for the big kick, but he doesn't find a kill. Berserker wants to follow. Gumayushi falls. Saint in the middle of everybody. LYON smells blood.
The miss was perfect, but look at the top side. HLE looking for the play, so LYON respond on boss.
Yup, LYON want to make the move here in the bottom lane. Zayas trying to get himself out of that one. He has the egg, but it's not going to matter. Isles just absorbs the last turret shot, makes sure his allies take no damage. The kill goes over to LYON, and they're going to get the turret on top of it. Yes, HLE is pushing here in the top lane, but bottom side, the turret's already been claimed, and the Herald is summoned up to try to make a move towards the tier 2. Now Gumayushi trying to push the tier 1 turret here in mid. Dokla wanted to clear out the wave, trying to get away for now, but the fear is already procced, and HLE have found a target of their own. They collapse and find the kill onto Dokla. Meanwhile, here in the bottom lane, that tier 2 is under pressure from the Herald, and LYON's going to secure that as well.
Dokla trying to go for a big play there. He held the wave and then ulted Guma to be able to take that lead.
And LYON are definitely putting a lot of resources in towards Saint. Like, even they could have moved to protect Dokla.
Early on in Split 1, in lock-in, were around Saint, and they tried to adjust.
All right, Dokla under pressure yet again. Four-man play coming out from HLE. And Gumayushi peppers him full of holes. Another
changes that LYON made to try to enable Saint, to put him in a position where he felt confident that he would be the one to carry the game, to not defer to others, to do what is best for him because they believe in his ability to carry in team fights, to step up mechanically, and that is one of the big changes that put them ahead.
Saint going in, looks for that solo kill after Zeka, and he finds it with a perfect execution. Zeka flashes, but it will not.
Out to safety. And Inspired now is behind him.
Yep, Delight's going to get tagged by Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike ready to follow, but Inspired is not in the right spot. He gets himself away to safety for now, but HLE is on the hot. Paranoia coming out from Kanavi, wants to go in after Berserker, but Kanavi's going to be first to die. Inspired still alive, but Guma finally finishes him. Zeka picked off to the left side, but he barely gets away for now until the R2 comes in. 3 already dead on HLE, and Isles wants more. Zayas tries to get away with a point-blank Flash Frost. The Crystallize cannot stop Saint. HLE are crumbling, and LYON take 4 for 1.
Make it 5 because they're going for Baron here. It is
5-man unit. Dokla and Inspired keeping themselves safe. The Dragon aggroed, but very low DPS on the objective. True Shot Barrage tags Zeka. Saint still waiting, hiding in the fog, looking for his opportunity to go in. Keep your eyes on Dokla. If they want to try to make a move, he goes for the flash. He knocks into Light. The Rakan's about to die, but he gets away for now. Here with the shield. The Protobelt plus Ignite might just burn him down. Saint goes over the wall, goes godlike. The Light's already gone. LYON, they get the single kill on the support, but it's enough to earn them control of the bottom side river and claim Soul Point.
A very quick reaction there from Zayas, gets himself out to safety. He was fast with that reactive flash, but because they caught Delight, because Saint finished
near what Anivia can.
Absolutely true. I mean, Gragas is 1 round of spells, and that's his value. That's basically all he's going to be bringing.
Kanavi knocked up into the air there, as immediately now coming right back in here with the Paranoia, but no, it's Inspired. Finding the kick on Gumayushi. LYON looks for the damage. Massive 3-man knockup coming out with a pulverize from Isles. Berserker goes godlike and Gumayushi goes down. Kanavi with the flash over the wall. The cast comes out. Kanavi under pressure from Inspired yet again as the tier 1 turret falls. Saint continuing to dive forward. Kanavi is on the run. Both bottom laners as well as the top laner of HLE.
Has to go back to base. It is 50 seconds until Soul. They're going to get Baron, and they are going to head straight there to try to seal the deal.
Saints Seeker's arm guard was clutch as well. Kanavi immediately tries to jump on with that shockwave combo, but they weren't able to make it happen. We'll see it at the start
over here as LYON still continue just waiting for HLE to try to approach them. Sonic Wave onto Kanavi. Inspired not going to follow that one here with a Resonating Strike. Instead going to turn attention back over to the Drake. Delight over the wall. Sonic Wave collides with the Rakan. The Dragon still at about half HP. True Shot Barrage finds Zayas. Saint goes in. Remember, there's no egg. He already lost it in the previous fight. Zayas is about to die right here, and Dokla takes him out. Revenge for the laning phase. As LYON killing the enemy top laner. Now just want to guarantee they take the soul. Zeka wants to see if there's a cheeky steal, but he's going to be zoned away by Dokla and Isles, and LYON claim the Hextech soul.
LYON give him no chance at the 50-50. It is picture perfect play here. They hold their lines. They attack Zayas on the side. They catch him. They burst him down. And now it's a full core press. They're going.
All right, Kanavi wants to full send it again. They're trying to make a move here with the bottom side with a Paranoia play, but Saint staying alive here in the smoke. Zeka Zeka keeping himself in the stasis for now. Dokla goes after Gumayusi with a true shot barrage over the top. Kanavi is already dead. Sonic Wave resonating strike. Gumayusi on the run. Inspired chases after Zeka. He needs a couple of more hits and he's got him. LYON just aced them. LYON are in the base. And LYON tear the throat out of HLE in game 2.
LYON are gonna do it. We've got a tied series here against the #1 team from the LCK.
Zeus respawns, but there's nothing the Anivia can do alone. LYON were down 2,000 gold in lane, but they bring it back and tie it up.
Hanwha Life got their comfort, but they don't look comfortable. Desk, what the hell was that?
That was NA, baby!
Let's go,
LYON!
You know who looked comfortable there? Saint, building Medjai's, going deathless that entire time. Berserker.
Lost from the very onset of things. This will be probably a more honest showing of what he can do, but Dokla is going to lock in the Gwen here for the top lane against Rumble.
Yeah, so Rumble did get nerfed several patches ago that makes it get painful if you're the Lucian Milio. Constantly getting pushed in, you never really have the ability to push it back out because Lulu can use the Q, but here we go.
Yep, down in the bottom lane, it's Berserker, bringing Gumayusi down to 100 HP. Isles continuing to go forward. Berserker! He gets first blood in the 2v2. Isles flashing away from the Kog'Maw body. So that
all-time head-to-head LCK versus LCS has not looked too good for us, let's be honest, but we have had these glimmers of hope in the more recent years. You think about that 5-game series between FlyQuest and Gen G. You think about TL challenging T1 a number of times. You think about that belief that we had in some of these series, and that is what LYON is trying to recapture.
Saint doing a great job of freezing the wave here in front of his tower. Hasn't gone for the reset. Zeka already TP'd in, but now the play under tower. Saint needs the flash.
Yeah, Kanavi over the wall, coming in with the Vault Breaker. There's the Q flash to try to get the kill. One more hit from Zeka's gonna get it done. And the HLE, but now Inspired, making his way towards the bottom lane. The wave has crashed into the turret already. Berserker and Isles, once again, looking to make the moves. Gumayusi is taken low. Isles absorbing the turret. Gumayusi killed again. It won't be a 2 for nothing.
Kills now on the Lucian. The early Sheen to a slingshot. Like, you're going to be very much able to continue this pressure on the bottom side, and that opens up things like the Dragon.
Yeah, but now it's a full send coming out. The Fate Seal does just that. HLE solo laners rotate over. They'll take the
It's the chunk because Inspired here is over on the grubs. And does grab that first grub, has his ulti available. Kanavi's is back too.
Okay, 1 for 1 on grubs so far. Third grub still alive. Kanavi should be able to secure this one easy, so HLE's coming out on top.
Kanavi is up 2 full levels over Inspired now. After the kills, after the stolen camps, Inspired rarely gets this far behind.
And that's why I'm surprised that LYON didn't try and take that fight. They had the push on top. Already Victor shifts across the mid. I honestly expected them to just try and full send with the position they had on the map, but Inspired a little bit wary as he backs away. Now Kanavi wants more.
Yep, that's the level 8 versus level 6 advantage. Kanavi knows Inspired cannot deal with him, and now cease and desist yet again. Wild growth with Gumayusi coming up right behind him. Delight takes the kill, and HLE find their
here in this game.
I mean, when he is at his best, he is so hard to stop. The plays come fast and furious. He's always trying to push that limit, as you're saying. They're tracking you perfectly, forcing plays, creating advantage.
If we get to this next objective, and Kanavi realizing, hang on, I don't have that cease and desist. I don't want anything to do with this bottom lane right now. I'm just going to try and clear it out, make sure I was there to cover any sort of play that happened, but just try and keep this gold influx going in my favor.
Ooh, hold on. Exhaust use here in the top side. Dokla's got the needlework. The equalizer's already been used on the wave. Meanwhile, bottom lane Inspired, potentially looking for a play down here. Top side, Dokla going to be burned low. Zeus with the solo kill, cuts him down. Meanwhile, bottom side, Berserker needs a little bit more damage to try to kill Gumayusi. The turret's going to turn right back over onto Inspired. Breath of Life will not save him, but Berserker's already got the double kill.
Get pressured again.
Yep, it's Kanavi looking to work together with Zeus and find yet another kill here in the top lane. HLE's game plan, focus these solo lanes, get him ahead. Dokla survives for now, but Kanavi re-enters, and Kanavi takes another one. HLE, 1,000 gold.
And giving one over, and that's costly. They're going to look for Zeka.
Yep, Zeka's about to endure a 4-man play. He wants to try to turn it around a little bit here. Soul Unbound has already been used. Fate Seal doesn't get him a whole lot. Zeka taken out. However, HLE's not done. Berserker's under pressure. Kanavi trying to kill him off. Berserker firing back. Kanavi gets the kill over onto Inspired, and the Wild Growth is going to keep HLE going. LYON are utterly routed
and HLE bury 4. Dokla will at least get one back on Gumayushi over in mid lane as he skips and slashes.
Onto Guma, which is something for him, but you know, before that solo kill, he was holding even. Then he gets solo killed, then he gets dove, now he's down 2K. And Gwen does not have that utility. The terrifying part, though, is when you are kind of one threat right now. I mean, Saint is relevant.
Over the wall goes Kanavi, and Dokla once again must cease and desist. Zeus unstoppable. Kanavi is anywhere and everywhere at the same time, and he is dominating this third game.
And look at Zeka reading the play. He knows every time they go top, they dive him bot. Zeka just walks mid. He's going to farm up the wolves and say, I know what you were looking for. I'm not going to show up for it. I won't give a kill back this time. But, you know, you need that second threat for Lion, because otherwise it's going to be Yone ult, it's going to be Vi ult, it's going to be Equalizer all on your head every fight as Berserker, and someone else has to punish.
Berserker now going to be your target. Polymorph tries to get away, but the fate sealed again will do its duty. Gumayushi takes the kill to add insult to injury, and now the 1 point of strength for Lion is cut down. HLE over 4,000 gold ahead as they ram the Rift Herald straight down mid.
The instructional video for Azel's commentary just comes through immediately afterwards. Like, there was nothing that Berserker could do on that one. Now the Rift Herald going to the bot lane. 4,000 gold about to skyrocket for HLE.
I mean, this is just a top side masterclass here. Kanavi and Zeus really running away with the game. Lion will continue to fight, continue to look for plays, and we'll see if they can find something on the Zeus, but this is a risky dive if they want to go for it.
All right, Dokla's wave going to be cleared out by the Equalizer. Saint shows up, Inspired trying to get in here and make the play. Zeus shoved away out of the turret, Inspired barely survives. Lion get their defensive itemization for the HLE solo laners as well. Immortal shield bow for Zeka. Inspired going to be the target here for Kanavi, tries to use the Impale to turn things around and buy himself a little time. Inspired below half HP, Dokla going to be your target. Tries to use the Hallowed Mist, but Dokla's already down and Kanavi is on a rampage. HLE, they find the pick and earn the Drake.
It's a feint from HLE. They go for the Skarner, but they hit in the kidneys, and it's Dokla who ends up falling as a result. Dragon number 3 for the LCK.
It's just one of 1,000 great plays from Kanavi this game. Inspired TP from Dokla.
Exactly. Dokla down in the bottom lane, teleport's ready, but Kanavi and Zeka can take down this Baron so easily with just the two of them. Teleport coming in now from Dokla. HLE, they got what they came for. Summoner spell is down. Saint steps forward towards the Baron, but it's already lost its patience and regenerated far too much HP. Berserker stepped up here in the mid lane. Inspire goes over the wall, finds the slam onto Kanavi, but where's the follow-up damage? There's nothing from Lion. Kanavi's just fine with Wild Growth. He gets back over the wall. That's Impale plus the Arcane Storm used by Lion. Only Wild Growth from HLE as now Inspire looking to find the catch here onto Zeka in the mid lane. Isles grabs the kill. They manage to take out the enemy mid laner. Gumayushi's about to die next. Zeus in the middle of everybody, exhausted. They try to get Kanavi out. He barely stays alive. No deaths on the Lion side. I said they needed a miracle, and that team fight may have turned water to wine.
What a fight there from Lion out of nowhere from so far behind. They're going to go for the Baron, but Berserker has no HP. I don't even know if he can do this, and Kanavi is still in the area, has Smite.
Okay, Melio very good at keeping his allies topped off. You've got the cozy campfire, you've got the warm hugs. Saint's going to try to make sure that Kanavi can't get anywhere near this one. Saint goes over the wall. Kanavi trying to get out now, stuck inside the gravity field. Turns it right back around with the Vault Breaker, looking at Saint. Cease and desist. Kanavi staying alive. Saint outplaying him, and with the Ultra.
A big misstep from Berserker, but it's still a brilliant fight, and they're looking for Guma.
We're right back on the live, but Gumayushi's dead. Inspired looking to make it a two-man play as Delight tries to get out. They use the Impale, and they found Zeka. He wants to get away, but the bait shield is blocked. Zeka making enough distance for now. Zeus in the middle of everybody, but Berserker kills him off. It's a meat grinder! HLE! They are aced! You can win the game for 90% of the time, but Lion find the clutch.
They find the clutch, and they should be able to end it right here, right now. They got the wave.
They're pushing straight into the enemy base. Look at your win chance. Look at the gold cap. Look at Lion in the base of HLE. They push towards the Nexus turrets. Gumayushi is back alive. Delight in 10. Lion health bars. Compromised. First Nexus turret taken low, taken out. 3 seconds on Delight. Gumayushi stepping forward. The game's not over. Entire game. HLE already onto the objective. LYON stepping forward, but they're doing it slowly. Dokla over the wall. Inspired's on top of the Drake as the calling forces Gumayushi away. The Kog'Maw's already almost down. They go to make the play. Cease and desist coming out from Kanavi, but he will not find a kill here just yet. Berserker is shut down. HLE find a couple of kills. Gumayushi staying alive. Inspired here with the bullet to Zeus. HLE still trying to take the Drake. It is secured by LYON. Zeka still fighting here in 1v3. The main character, but Saint executes him. Gumayushi, the only man left alive. Inspired's impaled, does pose a little bit of a threat, but nobody is close enough to provide the damage. But now the calling comes out. Zeus on the run. LYON looking for their angle here to try to end the game. Dokla's made his way in. The Nexus turrets, both standing at about 1/3 HP. HLE still trying to escape. Equalizer onto the minion wave.
They're on the towers!
Putting damage onto the towers. Kanavi still trying to enter into the fight. Berserker attacking turrets. Kanavi here in the front line. Dokla goes golden. Zeus does the same. Kanavi is down. Kanavi is gone. The Nexus is gone. LYON are on match point.
LYON are pulling off the miracle. They are on match point against the LCK's #1 in Daejeon.
Closer than they've been in, I don't know how many years, to doing the impossible. Shades of the FlyQuest almost upset B.
Something that has
But
that
for
engaged.
Vic, why would you save it, right? That's the thing that's making it hard. It could actually be Aurora top. I think it's Aurora top. It's
I called the
mid.
flex.
Yeah, so I think it is going to be Aurora top. I think it's going to be Swain mid, so they are moving things around. I think Swain is a tough pick to answer, but it could also be, you know, both. I mean, right now, Zeus...
Isles will find Kanavi about to face check into him, into the brush here. Saint trading with Zeka in mid lane at the same time. They want to make the move on to Kanavi. He goes over the wall, he stays alive. Isles still chasing, but there's no more damage ready to go. Inspired used his flash there. Kanavi used his own. Flash for flash. Kanavi's forced out of the jungle, and now Zeus hanging on up here in the top lane. Dokla is very low on mana, but wave. Inspired... He has all of the charges there in his passive. Dokla's going to just try to use the two of the skies, get this wave shoved up as fast as possible. Allow LYON to try to make the play here. Meanwhile, down to the bottom lane, Solar Snare coming out from Berserker, trying to keep himself safe, reflects the headshot. Does take a chunk of damage, but up here in the top lane now, it's Zeus going to be your target. They jump in for the Pantheon stun. They get the damage. Zeus is down. Kanavi wanted to come in and try to help his top laner, but instead, Kanavi gets one back. Beautifully done as Call of the Pack gets him away. LYON gets a trade back again. It's a double kill for Kanavi.
as well, so you end up having a little bit of advantage there, but hang on, Isles fishing for Zeus.
Yep, Isles trying to make a play before Zeus has the Demonic Ascension ready to go. They drop the Ignite, and Zeus is killed a second time. Kanavi wants to get one back in the dark, and Dagger will do just that. Kanavi with a return kill onto Dokla, and the game stays tied 3-3.
Kanavi again, back-to-back games, putting on a clinic here. It feels like 800 gold lead for him, but credit to Isles, who has been playing well. They're looking for a dive.
Yep, Delight trying to facilitate Kanavi, getting yet another kill. Isles tries to get away, gets a good stun. Delight's gonna die to the turret. Yes, Isles will fall, but again, it's 1-for-1. 8 kills.
Becomes so valuable.
Both supports hanging out up here yet again as Kanavi is first up into the top side. Dokla to the skies, trying to get himself away, but Kanavi, he's got the damage, and he keeps himself alive with Call the Pack.
No one answering that right now. Zeus had that push.
The Bone Skewer, though, does give Inspired time on the Void Grove, so all three, it looks like, going to be going across. As a little bit of damage there towards Isles. But now, as you say, Dokla matching bot wave. So LYON kind of getting the map back, but it is that small gold lead, mostly off the back of Kanavi here for HLE.
And that is all 3 grubs for LYON, as you called out, you know, the interrupt on
Teleport to try and join in if they need to. And you can see Kanavi already comfortable to try and make that play. Saint just trying to get some poke onto Zeka in the mid lane. But curious to see if they do push Zeka back. Does Saint just walk up towards this top side? It's a big wave, and you got the Pantheon to cover as well.
Yep, that might be the play, but it looks like Inspired and Saint both going to go.
Because Kanavi was coming from the bottom side of the map, so they're not sure how close he is.
Niles stepping forward here, sees Zeka, does not want to try to do anything crazy. Saint is still very hurt. Inspired jumps in with the ulti, going in after Kanavi, tries to take the enemy jungler low. The root from Delight, but he flashes over the wall. Now Zeka's trying to make some sort of a play. Kanavi barely survives. Zeka doing the same. X marks the spot where Zeka's buried in the mid lane.
They have done it all year long in NA. They're very willing to give up a couple dragons and try to build a gold lead elsewhere. And they see that as a very worthy objective.
So despite the vision, LYON wanted to reset before they really look for this objective. Zeka in trouble though.
Yup, immediately pulled the boat score flash for the dive as Isles makes the kill. But now he and Sane are ready for the teleport to arrive. HLE trying to find a counterplay as Inspired meets Kanavi in the tri-brush. Zayas in the middle of 3 trying to tank with a demonic ascension, but instead he finds himself dead alongside his ally. Both solo laners on HLE eliminated as LYON finds a 2,000 gold lead. They're not done yet. Isles, Saint, and Dokla still hanging around. Kanavi with 1/3 HP. Bone Skewer misses. Isles won't get anything more, but a 3,000 gold lead for LYON. Gumayushi taken down to 300 HP there from the Golden Eclipse. Berserker still trying to get away, breaks the tether. Here's your ace in the hole. Berserker just takes the damage, fine for now. Zeka coming in, looks to get the kill. Solar Snare to lock him up, flash of the wall. Berserker evades the counterattack.
Huge plays across.
And man, what a performance from LYON here in the game number 4 as Inspired's in the enemy jungle, wants to jump in after Kanavi. Dives away there with a call of the pack. LYON steal away the red buff, sidestepping the vision of Empire. Delight here with a tether as Dokla wants to try to turn it around. Kanavi wants to get away. Dokla's very low. Zayas with a massive demonic ascension. LYON is forced back, but a nice never move. Sane has to flash out. LYON in serious danger. Zeka's on the flank, and it's a shutdown over to Zayas. Kanavi gets another, and HLE just killed 3.
LYON tried to
push. A team that has first move when an objective is incredibly difficult, so LYON's going to say no. Instead, they summon up the Rift Herald here in mid. They get the charge into the turret, but they won't fully kill the structure. HLE, soul point now for a Mountain Soul in this game that you already said it earlier, Azrael, would be a massive power spike.
I mean, Emily talked about it on the desk yesterday. LYON seeding
a good job on the LYON side, getting ahead and making plays.
Yes, they're going to go, though.
Down here in the bottom side, Zayas is your target. Saint, Inspired, and Isles working together to take down the Swain. Meanwhile, up here in the top lane, Doka's going to get dove in a 1v2, and he dies as well. Both top laners, the targets for the enemy hit squad.
Nice pick on either side. You can feel how tense it is, and now LYON want to move in towards this mid lane.
Yep, the wave getting cleared away, but not fast enough. Inspired stepping forward to tank the turret. One more auto attack gets it done, and LYON are up to a 2,500 gold lead.
So you're still going to get the advantage here for LYON. They get the mid tower, they will get the bot tower, and at least a little bit of gold back in their favor. And you can see how much burst this Annie Pantheon combo has. Like, Swain, incredibly
in this
strong.
game, other than Kanavi, he's the other player on HLE who has an individual lead. He's got his Hex Optics, he's got his Infinity Edge, and now his jungler's looking to make a play on Dokla. Kanavi gets stunned up, he's taken very low, and they end up killing him here with Isles execution. Zayas in the middle of everybody here with Demonic Ascension, he's staying alive, he's tanking so much. Saint's gonna be killed 1-for-1 trade overall so far. Gumayushi going in after Dokla, and he finds the kill. Inspired takes Delight with them, but it's a double kill back over to Zeka. HLE are killing everybody! Berserker tries to flash away, but he falls. HLE
on the dragon. Inspired does have his ult. Will he try to send it?
Berserker is not even alive right now. HLE putting the work in on the Drake. They're going to burn it down before LYON's able to do anything. Isles just killed at the very start. Inspired ults in, but it's into his own demise. Surely the Mountain Soul is claimed. LYON is routed, and HLE are on the hunt. Inspired will die next. He wants to take Zeka with him, but he loses his Guardian Angel for free instead. HLE, at the time when they had to clutch up most, they do just that. They earn the dragon.
It was worth sending it to try to deny the soul there. They weren't able to do it.
Now Berserker under pressure from Zeka here in this bottom lane. Yeah, Solar Snare hits. Radiant Volley isn't gonna do it. Zeka with a 1v1.
There's very little that LYON can now do to get Zayas down.
And it all goes back to that fight at the HLE red buff. Up until then, LYON was running the show. But against a team like HLE, against the LCK's #1 seed, if you make one misstep, they are going to punish. Dokla trying to push into the HLE base right now, but it's HLE with a Baron. It's HLE with that extra pushing power for the next minute and a half that are just bulldozing through the base of LYON. They've already made their way onto the Nexus turrets. Gumayushi setting down some traps. LYON looking for the moment to possibly defend. Zeus taking the recall to go back and defend against Dokla's push. HLE are not done yet. They've already claimed the bottom inhibitor. Now they're looking to go even further. Saint eats the ace in the hole as well as the Between Worlds. HLE have already taken Nexus turret number 1. Now they're trying to get themselves out. Isles is low, but he is not dead. Inspired's first to die. Berserker here on the front line. He dies next. HLE will not go quietly into the night. They will find their win. They will take us to Silver Scrapes.
Inspired versus the LCK. Could it end up in Game 5 any other way? An insane performance from HLE as the desk is going to break it down.
HLE say not today. If you want to get past us, you're gonna have to do it in Game 5, and Zeka is waiting.
And Zeus was though against an Italy. Your clear speed is just not that good. I think, yeah, you kind of like, yes, you will have the matchups to try and play around, but I think Italy can just take your jungle so quickly, especially your go low on that first clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, but you're balancing a lot of different things now, right?
Yeah.
So now you are betting
Be the X factor in the team fights.
Yeah, exactly. And Saint is going to be getting stronger and stronger here. Guma and Delight looking.
Yeah, Delight goes right on in, just walks up and knocks Berserker up into the air, but a beautiful handshake coming out from Isles. The Shen ulti, stand united, but Berserker is first blooded by Delight. Dokla couldn't complete the ulti because he's interrupted by Zeus. HLE coming out on top.
HLE gonna not swap into it either. Kind of moving everyone up to fight for these Void Grubs.
Yep, you can see though, you've still got Gumayushi on the bottom side of the rift. Dokla also taking up his position down there, but he's got no stand united, he's got no teleport, so he won't be able to join for any sort of a fight, so HLE will continue to own the Grubs.
And there's the charm hook.
Beautiful charm and the follow-up with a grab. Zeka looking to make the play here on Saint, but he steals the Ari ulti back over the Spirit Rush over the wall. Comes Inspired, they get the kill, and Saint stays alive.
LYON sends up a prayer, and Saint will answer, and now Guma fighting Dokla.
Yeah, Dokla going in after this Kalista. Needs a little bit more damage, but he cannot find it. Gumayushi already using the Rend. Down to 150 raids against Dokla. Kanavi with his Lich Bane can chew through this dragon so easily. And HLE, again, it's not a fast first Drake, but it's an HLE first Drake.
But a slow first Drake.
Now, it is full court press for HLE.
Yep, Delight now going to get jumped on by Inspired, who isn't going to full send anything here just yet, but a teleport coming in from HLE. Nice pull from Delight. He's hitting so many of these as Gumayushi tries to save his support. Zeus has already arrived, but Dokla's ready to follow here with a stand united. Saint also making his way down into the bot lane. Gumayushi barely survives. Saint takes him out, but LYON's in danger. They've already lost Inspired. They've already lost Isles. Zeus in the front line as a raid boss here with the Aatrox. Q3 won't find the target. He heals up with a massive. Zeus still staying alive for now. Triple kill back over to Zeka. HLE making the plays. Saint barely hanging on. Dokla's still alive for now, but Zeus refuses to die. HLE still looking for a little bit more, and Dokla surely has no way out here. LYON staring down the barrel of a nearly impossible scenario. Blitzcrank hook fails. They're still trying to look.
Brilliant game with the pressure on him. Elimination series here. There was 2 match points they had to contend with. They barely got by the last one. Thanks
Collapse
to
around Gumayushi. This is where HLE have stood tall in the LCK, is the most threatening LCK representative. Rift Herald taken, the eye left.
And now Inspired just getting caught out. Could be in some danger. Stand United trying to keep him alive a little bit longer. Hostile takeover finding a little bit of value here as Kanavi is the first to die. Zeus in the middle of everybody, making some space. Inspired dies to Zeka, and it's the HLE solo laners making the difference again. Zeka finally falls, but he's going to take Saint with him. Gumayushi still hopping around as Delight barely got away. Saint coming back in trying to get something, but Dokla will not kill Delight, and only Saint and Isles still stand. Saint can't do anything in a 1v3, and Gumayushi executes him where he stands.
Delight again. The series for HLE, it feels like by far.
LYON coming in, trying to see if there's anything they can do, but no, instead, it's just another beautiful pull from Delight. Zeka arrives, Saint dies, the bailout does nothing. HLE pushed to the limit here against LYON, but with the threat of missing finals on the line, they refuse. 8,500 gold lead. HLE 11 kill.
When the chips are down, that's where champions are made, and HLE
sending it. They know that you're 10K down. You cannot play the game normally. They're trying to overload one side of the map. They're hoping that HLE gets sloppy, that they can get kill after kill after kill. But here comes HLE.
Yep, Delight finds another beautiful pull. Inspired, about to die. The Stand United tries to keep him alive, but no, Delight with the execution. Zeus arrives, wings spread wide. And LYON will be buried in the enemy jungle. 3 already dead as Sane and Dokla have to try to escape. Gumayushi, Delight, and Zeka chasing after Sane. No matter how good his Silas is, there's no way out. Dokla trapped beneath 2 turrets is the only man left standing on LYON. And HLE get 5 for nothing.
And the onslaught that would be the early game here against HLE, but HLE in those critical fights just played better.
And you have to feel for Inspired. This man has pushed the LCK.
Oh, you have to feel for Berserker as well. Even tried to use the exhaust, but Zeka, he's so far
trying to keep Berserker alive. LYON are full sending it, and they know they would rather go out fighting, but they have to see the writing on the wall. They have to know that this one is one fight from ending. HLE pushing, they're trying to get gold on the map.
The writing is on the turrets now as Berserker is forced to ult immediately. Delight forcing out that critical defensive ultimate from the enemy AD carry as the bottom lane inhibitor is destroyed 21 minutes into the game. HLE now putting pressure on the mid lane. Second inhibitor about to fall. Delight looking for another pull. Instead just gets the knock up onto Dokla as HLE dog piles in. Dokla's first to die, but he will not die alone. Inspired joins him as LYON panic and run back to the fountain. HLE will rise to the occasion. They will chase down the last kill in the fight. Zeus will not even fall. North America's dreams are dashed in Daejeon. LYON are vanquished. HLE are victorious, and they earn their place in the finals.
A rematch is waiting for HLE. The LPL Giants will take on the LCK first seed and show Daejeon what they're worth.
And HLE gonna look to end that golden road early for BLG, the winners of first end, the team that took them down in the upper bracket. It is revenge in the cards here for HLE. They're looking to knock them down a peg.
It wouldn't be the first time some of these players have done just that. They would love to do it again in front of a home crowd. But on the opposite side, for LYON, it is heartbreak for this team. I don't think anyone can doubt the run they've had here in Korea. One of the most impressive performances against an LCK first seed I have ever seen.
Absolutely. People questioned, were they lucky? Did they deserve to be here? And they proved without a question, without a shadow of a doubt, that they belong on this stage against teams like that.
And that's enough for us for now. Let's toss things back over to the analyst desk to wrap up the series.
The wait for the LCS remains in taking down that all-important LCK team. Inspired tried again and again. LYON and everyone, they truly fought like lions at this MSI championship. It is just that one hurdle, right? But it's almost impossible.
Zeus is obviously very good with Mbessa, and you can like hide in fog of war sometimes, or get good angles sometimes, or even sometimes just use slows maybe to be able to set it up and guaranteed hit those, but not the easiest.
I completely agree, and with this Nefiri coming in, also post level 6, it's not going to be easy because lane ganks are so easy to set up for. Nefiri doesn't always have to have a creative angle. She can find them jumping over walls, but sometimes just a lane gank and a stun is enough, and Kanavi's looking for a level 3 top.
Yeah, he's already here. Zeus is going to dive in. Is Bin too far up? Will he have to flash? That is going to be the question here as the Warthog comes on over. The Tempest Cripple will come down here from Kanavi. As the flash forward from Zeus, they want this first blood. It is the Ravenous. Oh, the Ruthless Predator comes through, and that is going to be first blood.
With T1, but weren't able to actually win that MSI. And now here on HLE with an opportunity to win a tournament that they weren't able to on T1. And really
plays like Double Lift being able to completely smurf it here on the stage once again.
Back to our prime, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Back to the good old days, right, Kobe?
The good old days are now, buddy. We just won 5 games against HLE.
Damn right.
The present really isn't that bad.
It's also kind of interesting, you know, talking about Viper, you know, and his road a little bit. Oh, Kanavi maybe going to look here.
Yeah, Bin is going to look to get himself out of the way. Public Execution is going to pick up the Crocodile. Dominus is running, but there is the kick back. The flash out, though. Zeus follows him up, and Kanavi gets another.
Zeus have kept them basically dead even in gold in this matchup where Zeus will outscale and, in theory, should be more valuable in the 5v5s.
Not to mention the fact that Shun is getting less and less valuable, right? Like being these more damage-focused junglers can make things difficult, but he is up towards his top side of the map, and he's got friends, as you say, Kobe. Let's see whether Zeus can survive this one. Doesn't have the public execution, but he doesn't want this to be public. That is going to be the first kill for BL.
To get the early Dragons, it's an Infernal Soul that will be available this game, and they would love to continue stacking.
Oh, Kanavi has found his old friend here as Knight blast cones his way up. There's the resonating strike to follow from the Lee Sin. Kicks him into the wall, and he'll just find the kill. Zeka grabs an assist with a command protect, but that was all Kanavi.
Everything done so well from Kanavi there. You know, dashed out of the gravity field, lands the Q, autos the Gromp to get his energy back, takes it over the wall after the blast cone.
Gumayushi gonna have to get out of the way of Shun here. We'll see whether that flash is going to be enough here as they turn it. He's on a trap, and Shun is able to flip his way out, but Kanavi is going to get there, and it's actually Zeka that locks up the kill. Turret goes down in the bottom lane, but HLE are off to the races in mid.
They absolutely are, and they're gonna go for the Herald Q as well, with already so much damage dealt to these towers from this Caitlyn, but they don't want to give this up. They're actually TPing back in. They do have double TP available. Bin not coming just yet. Knight is there, though.
Yeah, Kanavi going to see whether he can get this smite down. Is going to be able to land it there as the gravity well has been able to hold him in somewhat position. Safeguard gets him over the wall. Tempered Fate holds him in place, but he's got the ball. It's actually going to be the Death Ray that does it from Knight, so they do manage to get that shutdown.
I believe from the kill call out.
Oh, Kanavi is a little bit upset about that last death, and he is just going to come out of a replay and absolutely destroy Shun. Now Shelly's getting to work in this outer turret, and this snowball is starting to roll. Still only about 1,000 gold point, and HLE will definitely be able to make use of this Infernal Soul as Zeus goes in with the public execution. Been taking a fair bit of damage here, but doesn't look too perturbed.
Zeka's rotating over as well as the bottom lane, so Bin's going to have some visitors soon.
Yeah, the orb is now on him. Shockwave picks up the Crocodile. He doesn't really know who he wants to fight, and the answer is there's no good choice. He is going to be taken down here once again.
4 or 5, you know, it just kind of goes up and to the right. Caitlyn becomes such a beast in the later stages.
Well, there are 2 more beasts on the map right now, thanks to our Coinbase gold.
This series between these 2 junglers, a lot of it is, you know, we saw On and how he was able to get out on the map. This time it was hard because Guma and Delight were perma pushing on bot side. It allowed them to stack dragons, put that pressure on.
Oh, Zeka finds the Shockwave, tries the dash cannon out of the Tempered Fate, but he is held into position. Cosmic Binding doesn't quite do it, but there's the Arcane Storm, and the shutdown goes over to Viper yet again. Bin now trying to get on top, but he does back away.
And meanwhile, they've got Caitlyn just pushing on bottom side there. Gumayushi playing PvE out in the mid lane. He's going to get the rest of that turret too.
Hang on. Okay, well, can BLG actually find something out of this? As Shun looking for an angle here, doesn't get the Darkened Daggers in. As Zeus trying to soften them up as they go for the dive. The Arcane Storm goes down yet again. Public Execution comes in, and Shun in maybe a little bit of trouble, but they haven't been able to lock down the kills just yet. True Shot Barrage comes in, and Viper locks down 2. Knight grabbing kill credit as Zeka will finally come back from the Death Chamber and grabs the shutdown onto Bin. Now he's dashing forward, looking for Shun, and Guma is looking to just maybe win the game. You were talking about PvE, yeah, he's forgotten that there are other defense here as Delight trying to get some vision down, but he is spotted. They know exactly what's going on, but can they do anything about it? The answer is absolutely not. And HLE's goal. And HLE have started off this Drake. Zeus now slips off into the fog of war, and there's the trap line. Bin gonna have to try and break it open, but he's taking so much damage. It's gonna be Viper that takes it. He's taken everything so far this game as Bin goes in, looks for the angle. Zeus does the same thing, though. Public execution, and they take down Viper. Their former AD carry now lying on the floor. Shun going untargetable, and they do get rid of Zeus. Now Kanavi gets the kick back onto Shun, and now he is in amongst it. And HLE wipe them off the rift. It's a triple for Guma.
That is massive. And remember, the mid lane is so soft. Shockwave 2 over the top. And Viper, who had been running this game and having a great tournament, just gets deleted, and it flips the fight on its head.
Bit of a flank angle here potentially for Bin as the net gets Gumayusi out of the Tempered Fate. See where this Crocodile is lurking, though. That's the question. Is public execution gets Zeus into the backline again. Bin might be too late this time, but Viper does create some distance and takes down Zeus. Gumayusi pushed out of the fight, though, as Bin is massive, looking for the angle, but Kanavi's another carry, and he's just wiping them out where they stand. Bin flashes in. He'll find the Culver Meek to take out the Caitlyn. He's going in as Zeus holds the Dragon aggro. And as we can see, that Dragon's so incredibly low, it's stolen by Shun! He just bounces in immediately to try and take it.
Took a pretty big chunk from that ult.
Yeah, hit 3 people actually. High value on the True Shot Barrage as BLG are in position. Ace in the hole, just going to be thrown over to Viper as he makes his way in. As Guma finding these headshots and on. He really cannot be tanking those. HLE have backed away now though, and BLG going to do the same thing as they slink into the Fog of War on their side of the map.
And the thing is, Kanavi has so much sustain, they can just do that and then they get the inside route here. It's a really good rotation from HLE. They draw you out of your base, so now your inhibitor is defenseless. They just pull off the Baron and then go take it. Really nicely done from them, because they know
damage. And HLE, I think, are going to have to try and find an angle for a battle here. 8 seconds on the Dragon. There's a teleport in from Zeus, looking for an angle towards Knight as Kanavi doesn't get the Q. That's a blast cone, though, as Public Execution is not going to land this time. Knight takes the ace in the hole, though, and there's the Q from Kanavi. Knight going to get pushed away, but the stun comes in from the Gravity Well, and Knight will survive. BLG now just trying to rush down this Dragon, and it is going to be secured. Both teams now with 3 themselves a Baron.
What do you do about this Caitlyn? It does so much damage. Guma now on the Baron currently and Bin looking, but they can't get in. Zeka zoning them here. The Orianna doing so much.
She didn't even need to use the Shockwave in order to do all of that damage with the Command Attack Dissonance combo. So the Baron will be taken here by HLE. Finally, actually getting themselves an objective here on this map. I feel like it's been about 15 minutes since we've seen them really take anything outside of that inhibitor.
And we'll have to see how much they can get done with it. Obviously, great sieging power here with the Orianna, zoning with the ball, with Caitlyn pushing forward. But there is also powerful wave clear on the other side with Knight. So, you know, Bin is going mid, trying to push this out before they Baron buff up those super minions. And Viper kind of just threatening with poke on the side, while Knight is just trying to thin that wave as best as he can.
Yeah, Bin doing what he can in the mid lane as well, dealing with those super minions that are making their way down. Guma gets a shield from Delight.
Teleport for the shield.
Yeah, Bin looking to make his way in level 19 on the Crocodile. Zeus could be in so much trouble. The ulti comes down, he flashes, but it's Shun that locks it up. And now the Tempered Fate going to be avoided here, but the net's now on cooldown. Gumayusi in so much trouble. Bin gets on top of him. Zeka's taken out as well, as they do kill on, but they don't really care about it. Now Gumayusi, he's going to have to be the one to make this one work. Gets the flash to get out, and he's taken down. Delight is now trying to keep them at bay, but he is just a support with only
boost, and he gets the flank off. They burst down Zeus. They make the flank. They make the collapse just when then they need it to crush the siege of HLE.
And it was such a good team play because it was set up earlier by Viper getting poke in the game, and that gold lead for Kanavi feeling like it means less and less.
I mean, Bin has been the lone gold lead on his team for the majority of this game.
Yeah.
And we'll see if BLG can utilize.
And now the pressure feels like it is on HLE. This Dragon means soul for either side, but
oh, the Shockwave doesn't actually connect, but there's a kick flash into the Public Execution. Viper should be taken out. It takes a little bit of time. Kanavi's traded, but he's just holding them in position as Knight flashes over the wall. Bin just wasn't there. He finally shows up, but the party's over.
Yeah, he wasn't there because Kanavi started the party. He hosted the party in mid lane. He saw Viper. He went before BLG can react. HLE, they take the fight to them.
But the question is, can they even get the Dragon? Because they have no jungler. Shun is still alive here, and they're going to try to fight this.
A little bit early into the pit here. Shun is not alive anymore. Bin is now going to get himself in there. Slicing and dicing. Gumayusi trying to get these autos down. And there's the GA proc from the Renekton. Zeus and Zeka still with a lot of damage available, and Bin not with a whole lot when he makes his way back. Gets the stun, but then gets taken down by this Orianna. And Knight just going to have to get out of there as HLE will finally get a soul.
That trap from Guma was game-changing. He had traps along the edge of the wall, predicting where Shun would go over. And it looked to me like Shun just hopped straight.
All right, well, the Baron back up and available once again. It's Kanavi and Shun just playing with one another. Knight trying to find these death races. Of course, Kanavi goes in, but out again once more. Tempted Fate, my God! On basically takes his whole health bar in damage. As HLE just fishing for angles. And yeah, they're looking to take another inhibitor. Remember, there is only a naked inhibitor in the mid lane. They could take all three while HLE also takes the Baron.
BLG are sending 3 for Zeus. They're going to lose the Baron. They have to get this kill.
Well, can they actually do it as the public execution gets Zeus in there? He is likely to fall down, but they take the Baron as a response. And now BLG need to buy as much time as they can.
Kill him as well.
I wonder if BLG are going to try to wait for the GA on Ben. Will they decide to send it without it?
Whoa.
HLE are just forcing the issue. They're taking all of these inhibitors. They're not allowing them that luxury of waiting for the GA.
Zeus is going to have his teleport when he revives.
Every auto attack from Gumayushi is hurting so much. Has now been on that flank angle once again. Guma playing so far up as Bin gets in there. Guma gets a huge shield. The flash is flashed by Gumayushi. Now Shun's in trouble. And maybe that man advantage doesn't mean too much at all. As Guma is just finding headshot after headshot. Knight now getting involved as they get him down to the GA. Kanavi's still at full health. Wants to take down this Ezreal. The net to get Guma out.
Viper!
But he's popped like a balloon. Kanavi trying to bounce around the fight, needs another cooldown as Viper tries to find the Q and doesn't quite get there. Zeka puts him down, and now Knight is running away from the battlefield because Zeus has teleported in, and he will not connect that public execution, but Knight is not there to defend the base. The Nexus is exposed, and HLE will not let the past repeat itself. They take down BLG in game 1.
What a start to the MSI Finals. That game was incredible. Desk, what do you got?
I got an HLE 3-1 on the books right here.
What a start to this finals. Completely controlled early game from HLE, and then things go completely off the rails with BLG going back. Guys, what do we think?
And Warwick as the answer, fantastic into that rumble, allows you to play towards side lanes where you have great ability to roam as the light, as Zeka and Kanavi to move around the map and try to play through those sides because there's not necessarily
a 3-camp gank again, top side, and this time it's Shun going to disrupt the top matchup.
Yeah, Bin was taking a fair bit of damage, but Zeus now gets the bad news that there is a Jarvan up here. The flash to try and get him out, but he still gets tagged by the knockup. He's going to need a big old army of ghouls to make this happen, and he finds it! First blood goes to Zeus! Shun will be able to get the revenge, but that is not what BLG...
And the bonus money from a first blood here makes it super, super not worth for them.
This is the hunt for the Grand Slam we were talking about last game. These 3 players are that one.
Oh, flash in from Zeka gets the charm, and they execute Knight.
I love the acting there too, as Kanavi is like just passing through here, don't mind me, jungle on the way to the Scuttle Crab.
Remember when I used to do this when we were hanging out? Yeah, it's fine. Well, there's a taunt flash from On. They do manage to get the knockup onto Kanavi as the favor is returned as the teleport comes in. On doesn't quite know, does now find out that Delight is in the area. Kanavi spotted moving towards that top side. There's the flag and drag and the taunt as Delight keeps himself alive for now. Hookshot comes out. Delight doesn't quite find the angle as now On just looking for his target. The Morning Mist will connect once again as Ben has eyes only for Zeus. He's looking to lock him down. He silences himself. The drill goes in and they lock up the kill. Kanavi's dead at the same time, but now it's Delight and Zeka trying to get this fight to work as Delight has to flash to get himself out of the way. Just to try and soften him up there as men. Speaking of armies, there are a lot of things here in this top lane as Zeka is going to show off as well. They're looking for the rumble and they will be able to grab the kill. Zeus walks it off at the same time, but the rest of BLG looking to turn up. Zeus going to have to employ his maiden to try and help out. Oh, Gumayushi just going to push Viper back and gets himself over the wall. That is going to be first rate going over to BLG though.
6 plus. You start getting big comeback experience since you're the lowest level and so far behind.
Well, now looking for some angles here as the Supreme Display of Talent finds nothing at all. On is going to get that follow-up as Knight, petrifying gaze! But it's not quite doing enough here as Zeka just gets himself out with that Spirit Rush. Shun getting a nice knock up there as Zeus running out of buttons and Bin turns up! That Flame Spitter is hitting everything, but he goes down! Knight finds a Twin Fang to answer it, but it's rumble for Camille so far. Shun looking a little worse for wear, and Gumayushi is now here to throw these bouncing bombs forward. The grubs should be taken here as On is the one that actually finishes off that second one.
It's huge for BLG. I mean, they've got an unanswered Lucian on bottom side, still pushing Viper got another minion wave there and almost was able to get the second turret plate.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to just soak up that golden experience on that. And while Shun is, 3-0-3, you look over on the other side, it's 0-3-2 in jungler. They have basically the same XP and the same gold. So Bin in trouble again.
Yeah. Put into that goalie wall as the equalizer goes down and Kanavi does not care. Zeus tanks up the turret just enough once again as Shun looks to get in there. The Cataclysm goes down and does shut down Zeus once again.
How many times have we seen?
And I just feel like in those cases, it's not very valuable, whereas there's tons of offensive pressure. He might need something like Steel Caps to survive.
Well, second Drake now being taken here by BLG as Delight looking for a bit of an angle. The Miasma now on cooldown here as Knight gets back to his teammates. They look for Kanavi. Supreme display of talent onto Shun. Mega Inferno Bomb finds absolutely nothing, and Shun locks down that second dragon. It's an Ocean Soul this game. BLG still thinking about trying to find an angle here as HLE pretty healthy as they look to try and respond. But Gumayusi moving on over. Should be able to get some damage on this turret at least.
So it's interesting. They're going to trade mid prow for bot prow. Viper's like, fine, I will just go push bottom lane down here and over the wall.
Petrifying Gaze is going to connect onto the Camille. The charm lands on Onno. He'll be going down first as now Shun's in trouble. Kanavi trying to find that stun but doesn't quite get there.
He's now complete for On, which obviously is a very effective item, but against these kind of teams, I always really think you should be going Locket.
Oh, Kanavi gonna have to flash to get out of the way of Bin, and Shun does quite find the stun, but it's not quite going to work as they're stand united from On as he joins the party.
Very easily, and Shun gotta be a bit careful.
Yeah, there's the flash in as Shun's put inside the Hextech ultimatum. Supreme display of talent comes down there as well, but Gumayusi, the first one to die. On might be picked up as well, but even his able to get so far away from this fight. Knight gets in there, and now the grounding's on Kanavi. He tries to escape, bounces over the wall, but it does not matter. HLE running for the hills as Zeus trying to turn it towards Viper here. The dash over the wall, he's into the ghoulie wall as well as Shelly gets involved, but Viper will survive this one, and now Knight making his way over, and a teleport out from this Lucian to make sure that he's all right. Zeus lasting a long time, but I believe he's dead as well as Viper gets in there and helps Bin take the kill.
Yeah, and Viper, I think, was just going for a little bit of a TP flank there as HLE committed in, but Viper had such a good angle just to lead it. Guma, but Guma's back.
Okay, just blows him up. Petrifying Gaze is going to connect. Gets a stun onto Delight as now the ball every single time. And BLG have had enough. They're getting out of here. Shelly is theirs.
I mean, that's just one by Guma. Guma hits 3 bombs in a row on.
He wants to get in for the turret plating again.
We'll see whether On actually decides to go for anything, but you can see in our Coinbase gold grind, Gumayusi incredibly far ahead.
It's catch 22. He hates mages, but he loves winning.
Yeah, and he also, like, the 80 carries that he's best at are kind of like mages as well. Like Jhin and Varus, right? Like, you're mainly doing skill shots and all that business. So I think it's somewhat strange that he's so good at it, even if he may not necessarily like it, is okay. Zeka getting culled momentarily, down to almost 50% here, as this would be sole point for BLG if they're able to get this dragon. Minefield does go down. It's in an annoying position, but BLG haven't taken damage just yet. And yeah, Shelly is just getting some work done here in this mid lane. And the poke damage onto Shun is starting to add up. It's going to be the dragon secured by BLG, but they cannot keep Shun alive, and now the rest of BLG are running for the hills. Zeus just flashes on top of Knight, puts him into the ghoulie wall, and the noxious blasts are coming down, but Zeus looks to be ignoring it completely. The taunt does come down as finally some damage is coming in. Bin gets in there with the flash, but the Q comes down from Zeus to keep him alive. They take out this Rumble yet again as Kanavi overextends a little, and now On taking a fair bit of damage, the bouncing bombs, and now the ghouls to chase him down. And not going to be enough to take down the Shen here as the bouncing bomb will be avoided.
It's a bloodbath, and in the end, HLE are able to chase them down afterwards. BLG got to Dragon Soul point, but at what cost?
Yeah, cost them a lot here as they do focus this down. I mean, they were going for this mid lane play with the Herald. They got multiple charges. Shun goes in, but didn't have his flag and drag.
A bit of an angle from the Fog of War is pretty scary.
Yeah, all the lethality.
Oh dear, the charming Zeka is going to land onto Knight here. He does find the Petrifying Gaze though, as Kanavi is taken out once again, and both of them just fall down. I mean, he might be. It did go a little bit wide.
I closed my eyes for that one, buddy.
Yeah, that one hit the dragon. That one hit the dragon. That was just fine. As the rest of HLE not starting the fight just yet. The poke damage needs to rein in first before they do commit to anything. There's Viper in the back of the pit, not exactly where he wants to be. As the Supreme display of talent goes over, Zeka finds the charm onto Viper and will be able to take him down. But now the soul still on the table. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, and it is going to be Kanavi falling down. The soul is picked up as On. Let's see whether he can find it. The taunt connects onto Zeka, but he will go down. Gumayushi still at full health. Here as Knight is trying to get out of there. Shun as well, down very, very low, finds a knock-up onto the Camille, but he does go into the sky, finds his way out, utilizing the ultimate. Bin is going to die, though, as Gumayushi just needs another short fuse, but the flash gets out, the blast cone's there as well, and Bin is going to survive. BLG, the heist is successful.
Yeah, Zeka's hunting for him, but it looks like he is going to get out. They got the Dragon. I loved how Kanavi played in this moment. He's so calm in these really panicking situations. You know, Kavi was trying to get in there, but Shun is back, and he's going for Zeus.
All right, yeah, they definitely need more than 2 people. The teleport is going to bring Gumayushi over here at the same time as these ghouls onto Shun, almost taking him down. Now Knight in that ghoulie wall, but goes golden, utilizing that arm guard that he did.
They're looking to turn on this TP, maybe.
Yeah, teleport comes in from Zeus as well to join this fight as Shun is over the other side of it. The Maiden getting involved as well as Bin gets into the fog of war. You've got Viper. Oh, Zeka finds an angle here towards this top side of Shun, waiting in that brush. And Delight wanting to get on top of him. Shun down to 50%, looking to try and turn it. As Gumayushi's in trouble, sprint display of talent. He at least gets the ulti off, but he's going to go down. Viper finds the angle onto his former support, and Zeus trying to deal with 4 people here in this top lane as On is marking the rest of the targets. It's a double for Viper, and BLG have found their moment. They found the team fight, and now they can grab a Baron.
Shun traded flashes with Guma earlier, and then it's On the taunt flash onto the Ziggs. Knight there to follow it up. They take him out, and in these extended fights, Ocean Soul so powerful. They are still incredibly healthy. Right back to the Baron. That is going to be theirs, and they're going to have this Baron during the Elder spawn to try to take full control over love the communication there. You know, Shun using the Cataclysm to close the gap.
Oh dear, he's grounded. He is very, very dead. Shun going to be the one to lock down that kill, and Kanavi, his 9th death of the game. A little bit of a difference from what we saw in game number 1 here, as this one has not been his favorite.
And that is Elder gone now. You have no jungler unless there's heroics to be played by Guma, maybe some sort of a try at an alt steal or something, but this is Ocean.
Absolutely everything right now as the teleport to bring Zeka over there, but he is just going to watch as this Elder is going to die.
Go for Cassio.
Yep, looking for a bit of an angle here as Gumayushi underneath this turret. Knight is just fine though as Viper looking for a flank. No charm comes in. He knows that that's his angle, his opportunity to get on forward. The Cataclysm goes down. The Dragon's Wrath will be wrought all over HLE. And that is 2 kills, a double for Viper, and they will just proceed with these minions towards this bottom lane and destroy the base.
BLG strike back in game number 2. They're inside the base, and I don't think there's a lot that HLE can do to stop them.
These empowered minions, there is no Gumayushi to get through them. And yes, Zeus had a decent start to this game, but I don't think he can do anything. There is Elder, there is Baron. His Maiden is going to be taken down here as well as BLG with this army of siege minions from this bottom lane. They are playing it pretty slowly here as Knight looking for some of these noxious blasts as the equalizer will finally be thrown down. There's Zeus being eaten by a dragon. Kanavi with the world's smallest supreme display of talent. And Bin is just going to burn him to the ground. Delight taken out. And Zeka the last man standing, but not standing for long as Gumayushi gets back up again just to watch his Nexus be destroyed. And the series has evened out, and it's a best of 3 from here.
All tied up, back and forth, just how you'd want it at the MSI Finals. Who's got the edge, Desk?
It's hard to tell, honestly, after this second game here, because a completely different look on the side of HLE, a completely different look on the side of the jungler of HLE as well, but we're going to come back.
I feel like you just pop with the Counter-Strike and you're able to absorb so much of that, right? You just leave the Counter-Strike running full.
Also, I think the Jax is better versus the Xin, too. You know, if jungle's going to be up there and ganking you, it is very, very good. Try and close some traps on you. And On is kind of watching at the moment, and maybe one of those traps is about to be sprung.
Shun making his way in. The Dustbringer is going to connect as Kanavi doesn't have flash, remember, from the earlier play. And he'll be taken down. The Umbral Glaives.
Poor jungle. And BLG, they're going to reap the rewards now. You talk about Shun being ahead, Nocturne a full level ahead, and Nocturne's topside.
Oh dear, Zeus in a lot of trouble, gets stunned up by the Counter-Strike. And in goes the Nocturne, getting very scared as this Viking, and then taken out.
And that is the danger of playing Ghost TP. Yes, Bin did have to give up a big wave, though, for that. He lost a lot of minions at that tower. But they didn't even need the Ignite to kill Zeus, and Zeus realizes
Return
he can't
gank?
break the fear tether.
Camp him, camp him!
Well, that's exactly what they're doing, as Ben just gets back to work once again. And Zeus not going to be able to get out of this one. The Ignite ticking down, the fear tethers once more. And the alcove will not save you, Zeus. He falls a second time in a row.
Yesterday in that pivotal game 5, this guy is crazy good on anything that can engage, anything that can go. He will find the angle. He will be able to turn around a fight. And he's going to have to in a game like this, as Zeus is looking for a proxy angle.
Yeah, he is just going to walk past the turret. Doesn't take a turret shot, which is going to be very, very handy, as Shun and On making their way in to try and take this dragon, and they just steal it. The paranoia comes in. It's level 4 to level 6 in the jungle. And Shun is going to chase the Rakan out of there. The hail of arrows will pierce Kanavi. BLG didn't get off to this kind of lead in game number 2 either. So Headbutt gets Kanavi out of there. He's back over once again as the Chains of Corruption are going to come down. Viper not going to be able to hit him, as Kanavi did manage to hit level 6.
Zeka's moving down, so they're threatening the dive here.
Yep. Delight only level 5 here, but should be able to get the knockup. Does find it there onto the cow. They should be able to get this kill for the first one of the game, and Gumayushi is the one to claim it. Kanavi's definitely dead, but he's used to that so far this game. And so BLG, a 1-for-1 in that bottom lane, but plates to go over to Guma could be a big deal.
Honestly, I like the call from On. He's like, okay, yes, you guys do have the extra power here, but I will sacrifice myself under tower to make sure it's going to delay Kanavi even more. Viper?
Yeah, there is the quickness towards that bottom side of the map as Delight gets himself out of there. Gumayushi gonna need to finish this one off, and he does do so. A 1-for-1 under the turret as a teleport. Kanavi's got a tunneler, and now a little hammer as well. He definitely can.
Tunnel into the ground and hide.
The Coinbase Gold Grind comes in. That is going to be the cleanse to get out of the Chains of Corruption as Knight's moving in. Bear lands on top of Delight, but he's not dead just yet. Just barely able to get himself out of the way as the teleport flies on.
An ult for Dragon, maybe? Do they see them? Oh, they're not going to contest the Dragon right now.
Oh, it's going to be secured. All right, so HLE...
That is just going to make things even more difficult, but Guma and Delight feel like the hope right now.
Oh no, only level 5 here for On as he has to flash to get out of the way with the grand entrance, and that is going to be a dead cow mincemeat on the Rift as HLE giving these away, but he is nowhere near. And Zeus going to have to wander on over, eat some honey fruit before he gets there as the turret is taken towards his bottom side. And it is
one 2 items, and Delight has Exhaust ready, has a Locket ready, so they have tools to keep Guma protected, though he has been poked a bit by Viper, and I think that's going to make them just give it up.
Yeah, Zeka was thinking about moving from that top side of the map, but they are just going to give it up. And a bit of a fadeaway arrow there to help Battle Herald here for BLG if they'd like to grab this second dragon for themselves. As in goes On, could be a knock-up into a pulverize. As Shelly is avoided quite well. It's only Zeus that gets put up towards the sky. But in that, it is going to be the Drake secured by Shun. Immediately, though, Viper just dies. The quickness to grab Shun at the same time as he has to flash to get out of the way. BLG, they only sacrifice one, though, and getting that second Drake, a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal grabbing that second Drake.
Oh, Kanavi going to get a little bit scared here in this brush, but no, he's able to break the tether just in time. Shun down to 50%. Gumayushi may be in a little bit of trouble as the bear drops from the sky. As an Australian, quite aware of that.
The rush was very real. I thought that was actually going to explode in a fight, but they haven't left the area, and BLG still forcing for the top tower.
Yeah, there's the paranoia coming down as the Crescent Guard comes in, uses Shun as a taxi to get up towards that top side, but the grand entrance doesn't do it, and down goes Kanavi. Gumayushi now to show up as Bin just immediately jumps on top of him. Zeus into that backline. Can he actually get a target, though? Stridebreaker helps him out, and he takes down the jungler. Delight trying to get in there, but the quickness is denied entirely. And Guma still alive, but it's not quite working. Featherstorm comes down. Down goes your left as well as On is going to get swept up by the razor sharp feather. Viper just hits Chains of Corruption on Delight every single team fight. BLG will win every single one. As Delight goes in, finds an angle towards On, trying to use that ultimate effectively here as the Chains of Corruption do come down once again. Gumayushi getting himself to relative safety as Zeka gets in to try and defend in that backline. Grand exit here.
Though, so that's dangerous.
Oh dear, Zeka is just going to ghost away from BLG, but it's not going to be enough. Just bonked on the head with a lamppost, and Bin is going to claim his 5th of the game.
Yeah, it's the first death there for Zeka, but it's a pretty big one. Didn't have his flash. They're going to lose that tier 2 tower very likely. Kanavi in the area, but could be tough to fight this.
The constant pressure from BLG in this top quadrant of the map up here has really rewarded them.
From this Dragon Pit, BLG will say, well, thank you very much for the leash. I know it's not a very big one, but we're happy to do so. That is going to be soul point over to them if they're able to lock this one down. And I think even though an Ocean Soul is good for anyone, denying it from HLE is going to be the important point when you have the Poke Varus.
And the game, when you have all of these max rank abilities, such short cooldowns.
Well, On looking for an angle here as the Paranoia comes down once again. Let's see whether they can keep Guma safe. The Blade Caller and Shun can have to flash to get out, but Kanavi's just dead in the blink of an eye. Zeus looking for an angle towards Bin, but On just throws him up into the air. Ragnarok still hasn't been proc. Just out here from Shun, gives away his position towards these popcorn chickens, as there is the Paranoia. The Realm Warp to get them underneath the turret as Guma takes it down first. The feathers have been laid as into the backline goes Zeus, and immediately he is taken down. And now it's BLG's turn to go on the offensive. Kanavi using the Crescent Guard to try and create some space, but it is once again a pick. Knight teleporting in, will join the rest of his teammates. 5 strong on BLG's side. The Paranoia comes on through with Gumayushi not going to be able to help take this one down as Shun secures another soul. And Kanavi, he's trying to fight this one out, but he is just going to go down. Bin in that backline, able to escape very comfortably. And once again, BLG taking the lunch money. The Featherstorm has to be used by Gumayushi as they are going to try and take down this cow. But the bear comes from the sky, takes out the Rakan, and BLG will...
Bin survives on the side, and then they just chase forward, force out Guma's ult, and take out Delight.
And the rewards are huge, as you can see in the picture.
It's going to be the cleanse coming on through here. Gets Gumayushi out of dodge, but that is still going to be this turret falling down. The outer turret taking a long time to go, 30 minutes into the game, but still, they managed to get through it, and now Bin knocking on the back door here at the same time. Light gets himself out of the way. Gumayushi in a lot of trouble. He's just trying to get through these minions. As in goes Kanavi, but out he goes immediately with the headbutt, and they dive on top of Zeus and wipe him off the rift. BLG have found their opening, and they're going to take even more after.
Great call. On defends on the left with the headbutt, and Shun attacks on the right with the ulti.
BLG are just playing it so well, so patiently. Guma keeps getting poked. He went for the Gluttonous Greaves, but only 2 stacks, and the game may be already over. He's not getting that much lifesteal from it, and Viper is just staying at range, constantly poking and prodding and targeting Guma, making his life difficult. And now it's a full court press. 3 waves being Baron buffed up. They already take out that mid inhib. They're on the towers in top, and Bin is going to be threatening through bot lane as well. HLE have maybe got one more fight left in them, but they've got to wait for Zeus, and you're hoping for a miracle.
We'll see whether they can make that one work, as now Delight trying to get himself out of the way of On. Bin with that counter-strike running will be able to leap strike over the wall. As there's an exhaust. They really want to commit on this one. Is the Chains of Corruption going to be instantly cleansed? They might be able to get the Jax, but never mind, they will not. Down goes the Xayah Rakan. Into the backline they go. Bin goes golden though, and now he's looking to escape from Zeus. He does manage to get one of the kills onto Viper. Delight tries to get in, and it does not work out. Bin survives, and BLG will knock down these towers and move to match point in the MSI Finals.
Bin is dancing on him in and out with these leap strikes, man. What a game plan from BLG, well crafted. They have the Nocturne early, Bin gets his Jax carry top, they split the jungle for him, they split the map, and Shun is able to bring it home. Analyst Des, are BLG gonna win again?
Is the jungle gap going to stay this big? Because I feel like that'll answer the question. Holy crap!
Don't do him like this. You know what? We said it at the beginning of
Sleep, you can solar snare out of that, you can combo that burst, but looks like it's LeBlanc.
And I think it's picking for, we're trying to think, what can we pick for the Kindred right now and have a really good mid and jungle synergy here. Interesting, they end up going for the Taliyah.
That scuttle mark spawned down there. They would not have been able to do anything. Kanavi trying to turn this into a gank though.
Yeah, Viper could be in a bit of trouble, has to flash immediately, but is that actually going to get him to safety as the Frost Shot comes in? It's decent work as the beat drops, and first blood to Guma immediately answered there as Kanavi goes down, but getting Guma fed has been a pretty good thing here for HLE.
It's interesting because you look at the support roam timer too. Skarner here for On is on the way up.
I have a feeling there is a troll in that brush. As he dashes forward, Kanavi pops his head out. Let's see whether Zeus can keep himself alive. And the answer is absolutely he can. The never move comes in, Vision of Empire for the kill. And that is the second one for HLE.
That's some great patience here from Kanavi. Kanavi makes the early gank happen on the bot side, then gets a gank on the top side. That is critical because he has been struggling here against Shun these last couple games.
No. Delight roaming down. He's going to spot on here. Zeus in position. There is the Ixtal, and Delight in a lot of trouble. Vision of Empire is not going to help him, and Shun is going to grab another mark here. Kanavi moving up, trying to defend Zeus. He might be in trouble as well, as the Never Move is going to catch on to Shun, and Kanavi finds him. There is also the Demonic Ascension to keep Zeus alive. It's going to be another one here for HLE, and Zeus at 2-0. Still, things pretty even between Bin and Zeus as far as farm is concerned towards that top side, but HLE should be able to take down this dragon, and Kanavi claims his tribute as he gets that health bar filled up once again.
By that first blood, and now they're looking for Zeus.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall comes in, no flash available. The Demonic Ascension does bring him up, and let's see, the Never Move connects on tonight, and that wall did not last long enough. On finally makes his way in. Zeus is still alive for a very long time, but will finally be taken down as the Grubs are there in trade.
They bring 4 people, and this time they can take him down. They do give up topside, though. That is Grubs, and Kanavi wants more.
Yeah, we'll see if he can actually pull off a dive. It's 4 top.
Yeah, Destiny Gate brings Zeka into the party as well, as Bin will at least try and pathmaker one of the positions. He goes all out, but goes all a little bit too far into the death chamber here, as HLE look for plates as well with this 4-stack top.
Yeah, not much of a chance there for Bin.
On HLE that he has to play into. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. That's exactly what I was going to touch on. Is
Kanavi puts on in the kennel here as a Solar Snare, not quite going to connect onto Gumayushi. Zeka's moving down. Delight's here as well. Everyone moves in as Kanavi, he might be falling, but instead it's going to be ongoing down. No turret to be hitting this Trundle as he turns his attention towards Viper. Delight just barely tanks this one up, but Gumayushi is taken down. Knight standing his ground as Zeka able to sidestep a few of these abilities, but Knight is still very scary. And the threaded volley is flying in, just barely out of range. Is Zeka on this Twisted Fate as Delight with the surround sound is able to get for angles here, as where going to see where the double dragon can be collected. Here's the flash gold card. He's going to connect. The arrow lands on top as well. Lamb's Respite is going to be there as the Impale doesn't do that much. The Lamb's Respite is late as Shun, I don't know whether it's going to save him here, and he's just eaten by the Trundle. Revenge for Kanavi.
That's going to be HLE as well. They make the engage, flash gold card, and they're able to pull it off, even with On trying to peel for him and buy time.
And that's the problem with Kindred. The ult is nice, but if you're losing the fight, it doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't actually just immune you, it immunes them too. So when you come out and everyone is there, he can do nothing, and that's why I think he tried to hold it for so long to see if they could turn it around, burst someone down. But
one as like 0-7 Ashe in the bottom lane. They still won though, because it creates space for the rest of the team. Zeka now going to get caught up by this Skarner, thrown back by Knight as well, as the arrow gets flashed just gorgeously. Zeka's got a gold guard though. There's nothing On can do about this as a hail of blades Skarner, and he will be taken out.
And I mean, I feel like Kanavi is going to be such a problem. This Trundle is getting so accelerated, and it's going to be even tankier.
Speak of the devil, the Impale is going to come through. Shun will arrive, but is it actually going to be enough as Kanavi just flashes on top of him, takes the King's Tribute. He will die, and the shutdown goes over to Shun. That could be very high value here.
Yeah, and now they're going to get Herald off the back of this too, so the hits kind of keep on coming. Kanavi punished very heavily for that, and I was really worried for BLG in that Kanavi felt like he was running away with the game. He's getting ahead of the pace. You're going to be able to steal stats from Bin, and if he gets too strong, you just can't kill him. But now you give the shutdown to Shun, you give another levels, and he's lost the gold lead, and the Herald is still in pocket. So this has been a bad stretch of play for HLE, but their other members are still very strong.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a turret that should fall for Bin, as, never mind, it takes him a little while longer. Finally, does come on through. The backdoor bonus, not going to...
He has 24 stacks already. There's a ton of additional health here for that Swain.
Yeah, he is going to be able to take this turret himself, so that minion wave is not going to go down this time around. This might be an opportunity to go for some sort of fight. Rocks flying through, but the poke isn't necessarily landing, as now the Rift Herald is going to pop out. A teleport in from the Swain as the Weaver's Wall comes on through. Zeus just gets over the top of the Wizard of Empire, the never move! My god, the damage! And everyone is going to explode. Shun is in that Lamb's Respite as On gets into the backline. They take down Gumayushi, but it's this Swain that's the problem, and you are never moving if Zeus has you in his sights. Now BLG trying to escape, and Zeka will just hold on in position. Kanavi gonna hit him with a bat, and down goes the Skarner again.
And I have seen this game before, back-to-back days. Down a game, 1-2 for HLE. The Swain comes out from Zeus, and it is heroics from the top laner against LYON, and again over here against BLG. That never move changed the game, gets them soul points. The pull is big for the CC, and it's huge for the healing that comes through as well. They just can't take him out.
Oh, Arrow connects on tonight. The Vision of Empire is going to do a fair bit of damage, but Kanavi turning up, that's going to be the biggest problem. Zeus with some lightning hands takes out the Skarner. Now the rest of HLE are moving forward. Gumayushi going to use the flick back in order to close distance. That's kind of funny as Delight is going to get taken down. Ulti from Viper still doing a whole lot of work. As Knight at about 200 health, it's a double kill for Viper. The flick back comes in, and they've overextended. Zeus still trying to chase them down because there's Zeka moving in. But HLE, I think they just need to, cut their losses at this point as Zeka is going to try and get on top of Knight. He finds it as there's a demonic ascension, but he ascends a little too far. And now Zeka needs to find this angle. Viper with the rebuttal, but it's a double. The wildcards takes out Shun, but Viper is going to be there, and he is going to take him.
But they're right back on it.
All right. Kanavi clearing out vision where he can. On is going down exceptionally low to this Baron. He's going to have to go for a reset as the Hawkshot does spot him out. Out of turret going to be taken here by H here in time. Zeus just moving into the pit. Kanavi going to join him. The Weaver's Wall just to block them off as Zeka walking around the side. On in a lot of trouble as he's pulled back by the Never Move. It's Delight that grabs that one. The arrow straight into Bin as Gumayushi raining down the arrows, and the AoE is just revolting. HLE have routed them, and they'll take the free Baron and look to set up Silver Scrapes.
They're going to take the Baron. They're going to take the fight. They're going to take the game. It feels like it is a Game 5 in Daejeon.
The crowd erupts here as they know they're going to get some more entertainment. Zeus had teleport to the bottom side to get more work done on the towers, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, On shows up, thankfully level 7, so was able to get back out onto the map exceptionally quickly and soaks up some minions that were joining the bottom lane via Zeus. But that is going to be Soul as well for Hanwha Life Esports. And this is a TF Ashe composition, right? You can never surprise them. They press Destiny, you can see everyone on the map. Hawkshot just sails by, you can see everyone on the map. To say that they're on the ropes feels like a bit of an understatement here. As On, yeah, he's just not going to get over that wall, unfortunately. And level 9 now, at least, as Kanavi throws down the kennel. The arrow is going to sail by. The flickback doesn't quite work. Now Zeus just going gold and buying all of that space, but Bin throws him into the wall. The Swain is taken down, and Viper is able to grab that kill. Even On is able to survive. That takes a Baron off the map and really slows down HLE.
Very risky move, but a good aggressive one there from BLG. It looked like most of BLG were saying, okay, kite back, let it expire. Bin goes in, though, and helps him take him out. Shun in trouble.
Yeah, Gumayushi looking for an angle there, but doesn't quite get it. Solar Snare not going to quite land either, but BLG still has some fight left in them as this Siege minion just kind of being babysat, and the inner turret will fall.
Possible to have any chance in a game like this, but they want to make HLE work for it.
Navi's just moving so incredibly quickly. It's Cloud Soul working out, not to mention the Cloud Rift there as well. So HLE overloading everywhere is what it feels like. Inhibitor turret going to get taken down relatively low, but BLG doing a decent job in defending for now. But this inhibitor turret towards the bottom side is already though here for HLE is Kanavi getting to work on this Baron alongside Gumayushi. This will not last very long, but BLG in position. Shun still making his way in as Zeka could be in a little bit of trouble, getting danced on by Shun right now. As the Solar Snare only landing onto one. Zeus happy to tank that one up as now BLG trying to walk the tightrope of this team fight. And Zeus just walking forward into them. Still it's going to be the pushback. Viper takes down Guma to start this fight off as Zeus goes golden. They've gotten rid of Shun, who didn't have that Lance Respite from before, and Delight looks for the angle towards Knight. He's trying to dance away from them, but it's not going to work. Ben falls, Kanavi is going to eat him, and Zeus finds the angle onto Knight. On just fighting against Zeka, but he will be going down, and HLE, they're just looking to finish off the game now as Kanavi completes the ace and sets up Silver Scrapes here at the MSI final.
HLE run them over in the final fight and take us to that game 5.
What an incredible performance. The bounce back from HLE. It is not going to be that 3-1 once again, as they will take down the Nexus and make us go the distance here in Daejeon. We'll take a short break. When we get back, this one's going to get broken down. For the Aatrox-Gwen matchup there towards the top side of the map. This is what I was going to ask about, though. How is the Mundo matchup into the Aatrox? Because Zeus has been impossible to deal with on this champion.
I think it is quite bad, but I will say...
BLG are going to be able to take that one. Level 6 on the Vi, and bot side going to be able to collect the wave as well.
Top lane has just been so interesting throughout this series for me. I felt like Bin played. It has been pretty incredible. We've seen the matchup so many times. They're looking bot.
Yeah, Shun not going to quite find the flash, as there is the flash escape from Gumayusi. Shun too far as the ulti does come down, but first blood goes over to Knight, and Gumayushi's going to be taken as well. It doesn't matter that it kind of went wrong.
Back to the other side of the map on their revives, up to Grubs. Kanavi gets one of them thus far, and they're chasing them back out. Delight now with the support ultimate advantage. Even though On made a big play, Delight with the experience advantages this time around, and they're just going to bully them off.
Exactly. You know, there is that cost to On making the roam towards mid lane.
But Knight just down to 50% and will be able to walk it off. No flash employed just yet as the dash in from Gumayusi. They just want to kill On, and they are going to do so. Viper immediately cancels the ulti as Kanavi falls down on top of him. He doesn't have support, though, because On is being really annoying. Guma is going to finally pick up that. Just standing under the turret with his ultimate running as Kanavi's just walking in. Finds a stun onto On. He's taking so much damage. Kanavi down to 50%, though, as he does have that wild growth. Bullet time comes down. Pop Blossom onto 2, but the bullet time doesn't quite do enough. Gumayusi takes down On. Kanavi flashes out. The cease and desist will be acquiesced here by HLE, as it's a double kill for Gumayusi, and HLE will say thanks so much for the dragon.
They take it again. Thanks for the leash, and they're not done. Pantheon ult for Knight.
Of course, Kanavi's just going to dive underneath the turret. Doesn't quite find the damage with the Q. It's the river here. Rift Herald.
They want to fight.
Yep, that is going to be what's on their minds, as the Pop Blossom is going to connect onto Kanavi. Cease and desist into the backline as they look to take down Gumayusi. Knight is going to finish it, but now Viper is in trouble. Zeka dives forward, finds the chains to take out his former teammate, and there goes Kanavi as well. Zeka trying to escape, but he had to tank up the turret to get out of here. The Abduct is going to come through, the Abscond and the Kingslayer is going to be there, but it's Knight that takes him down, and they'll take a free Rift Herald as well.
On starts out the play, and Shun's Vi ultimate sits Guma down. They put that gold lead in the dirt at the very beginning of the fight. What a flank from BLG.
That was beautiful by BLG. Knight with the TP, On with the engage, Shun getting into the backline, everyone combining there perfectly. Viper gunning it. It's so smart when the powerful part of your team is the other side of the map. You just have to hang on and don't let Bin push his advantage.
But there is going to be still advantages.
It's hard to get those dream flanks, though. The last one was beautiful. It's perfect. Now on the Dragon, HLE immediately burning it down. I don't think you can contest this one. And honestly, there's not even a lot in the aftermath.
Still looking for item number 3, but does have the first 2 completed. Sionara's pretty scary as Bin. Look at him, pressing all of these buttons, having a good time. As now Zeka looks for the chains, doesn't find them there onto On. We'll be able to at least hijack an ultimate, as now Kanavi moving over. Zeus just takes down the turret right from underneath him, as the World Ender has to...
Speaking of pushing, though, the Herald does go through onto the mid turret here, and is going to get more map to play with for BLG. As they finish off the mid turret and mark the engagers, they're going for the Dragon again.
Well, the Mundo is walking from the top side of the map. A face check here from Zeka as he gets himself out of the way. The Between Worlds comes down. Great Polymorph comes in. Cease and desist, and Shun, he is going to have to do that as now Zeus makes his way in. 3 people, I do not think he minds. as Kanavi not going to be diving on top, but look at Zeus. He's just going to buy the time for them to try and take down this dragon. It's only at 50%, but there is no smite to try and lock this up, so it should be a soul point going over to HLE.
BLG not on the same page. Shouldn't want to engage. He wanted the burst damage onto Silas, but there's
a Mundo. It's just got regenning health over and over again. Zeka there as well with that Kingslayer. Zeus just walking up. Does take a fair bit of damage here, though, as we can see. Gets the wild growth as there are the knockups to Pop Blossom. Doesn't quite work out, but Zeka's one's decent as he dives on in. The chain lash comes down as Zeus takes out Ben. These health bars are so low. Viper is taken out, but Zeka will fall as well. Most importantly, Gumayushi stays alive, and they'll take down the outer turret.
And Zeus takes it all! He's still on the push. He's back to full HP.
How do you stop this man? He is just walking towards them. Maybe there's a meeting behind their fountain that he's late for. I don't know, but he has places to be, and it requires going through BLG. Yep, that's not going to kill him. He just keeps walking.
Zeus has a meeting, and it's feeling like it might be. He survives, and then Guma has free reign.
Exactly. He's hitting the entire time. Even though they lose the Pantheon, they lose.
Losing that third dragon fight was so critical. That was their moment, and Ben now spotted on a flank.
Yeah, the World Ender is going to come on through. He gets polymorphed as now Zeka finds a cease and desist towards Shun. Zeus just wanders in tonight, though, has been getting chased out. Gumayushi following in this. The stun Kanavi locks it up. On finds the air with his Pop Blossom. Zeka is going to actually find the Kingslayer to take out Shun. They'll lose their Lulu, but on is not long for the world, and Knight is running.
It is Zeus on the Swain. It is Zeus on the Mundo, a brick wall that BLG just have no answer to.
And from a team that got knocked out of the LCK Cup so incredibly quickly to now be this close to hoisting the MSI trophy. Only 2 other LCK teams have been able to do that. Life Esports will join.
But he was rooted up just a pixel or 2 away from it.
Oh my goodness, the chain's gonna find Knight. He's knocked up with the Pop Blossom from on. It is going to connect with Delight, who is taken out immediately. They want Gumayushi, and they'll find him, but the Pop Blossom from Zeka is massive. Still they get their target, and Ben is gigantic in this front line. That's the GA popped. Ben is still a problem, but so is Zeus, as both of these top laners feel unkillable. Zeka's still alive as he's now looking for Shun. He'll get in on top of him. Kanavi taken out by the Aatrox. Zeus seems impossible to move. Zeka might be an option here, but the chains go wide, and Ben shuts him down. BLG still have a bit left in the tank.
The sustained wars go the way of BLG at the critical moment. They'll deny the soul.
That is insane. They found the angle there. Viper fully committed, flashing in to get the kill, and then Zeka with the stolen Pop Blossom. I thought that would be enough. Zeus is coming back.
Yeah, he's just going to walk into 2 people.
Almost getting one shot, though. But Viper also has his IE, so there is going to be some real damage behind this bullet time, but HLE pressing with the Baron.
Yeah, they will be able to take down this inner turret. The dregs of this Baron. The
4 items, and he has the support behind him.
Vision is just so critical for the
Here
engages.
we go.
Oh, that's Kanavi actually going up into the sky. He's away from the fight. The bullet time finds Guma, and the Pop Blossom isn't going to do too much here from Zeka. They try and dive into that backline. They'll take down Viper, but what else can they get? Zeus is able to get in there and find his angle. Delight should be taken out, as the polymorph should not be quite enough, and it's a double kill for Shun. But now Zeus is just immovable. The stun onto Ben, as it's jungler and top laner versus each other. Ben and Shun, they take out Kanavi, and Zeus, he may just be mortal in the end, and Shun will be able to put him down. Ben at full health is going to continue the push.
It was both junglers looking for a play at the same time. Pantheon was ulting towards mid. Shun saw him leave. Aussie blast cones, and he doesn't care. Straight for Guma, and Guma down again without any damage. BLG, they did it again.
How do they keep finding these angles?
Rift did help with the super blast cone, but this time around BLG are starting the Baron, trying to draw HLE in.
Well, Zeus can definitely face check. He is going to do that as Knight takes a briefcase to the face. Kanavi has a Mega Cone in order to get himself in here as well, as Gumayushi is hunting. I don't know about his frontline position here as well, as Knight does get himself out of the way. The briefcase doesn't land onto Viper as the Pop Blossom does come down. Season assist is stolen. They get on top of the Misfortune, but at what cost? Gumayushi trying to dash away from Bin. He is put down to his GA. Shun pops back up again, but Guma flashes out. Now Bin looks to get on top of him, but he dashes out of the way. And this is what a team fight looks like when Gumayushi stays alive. HLE will look for even more as Kanavi celebratorily ults underneath this inner turret, and I think they may have done it. Hanwha Life Esports may have just ended the Golden Road.
Incredibly costly mistake from BLG. HLE will retake the game and the series back.
And it looks like the orange tank is going to bulldoze the Golden Road as an immovable Mondo will take down these Nexus turrets. Pop Blossom in celebration from Zeka as Hanwha Life Esports. They've already done first end, and they'll do MSI as well.
In a back and forth game, BLG every fight had their eyes on Gumayushi. They set up the perfect fight for HLE by starting the Baron, by sticking on the Baron, by allowing Viper to be chased out. Guma cannot be accessed because Knight is not there. On is not there. They hand it to them on a silver platter, and HLE are all too happy to punish, to take it, and to claim the LC with the MSI title.
They might be able to get that one as well.
Yeah, we'll see about that. My goodness, though, it is shocking. Such a shocking way for it to end after the previous fight where they had their eyes and their goal set on the flank and set dead on killing Gumayushi, but they pin themselves inside a Baron, and HLE say, not on my watch. Zeus is happy to run them out. Kanavi is happy to steal that Baron, and HLE, they will take away that trophy.
And HLE, it looked almost hopeless the first time these two teams met in that upper bracket final. You just felt like BLG had control of that series. They lose one game, but that was it. They then come back so incredibly strong. HLE needed absolutely everything in order to clutch this out. As Zeus, the immovable Mundo, will hoist that trophy, the third Korean organization to be able to do so here, as Kanavi, his first time back in Korea, and already he's managed to win MSI.
I'm still in shock over that ending.
Me too.
But
I can't believe it. I can't believe it ended like that.
congratulations, though, to HLE. They had a scale at this tournament. They lost to BLG in the upper finals, and they clutch it in game number 5.
Back-to-back series, they were down 1-2, and back-to-back series, they stepped up in game 4, in game 5, knocking out LYON, knocking out BLG, who was looking like the best team at the tournament, but Zay is so critical on these picks. Swain in game 4, back-to-back series massive, the Mundo massive in this one. HLE clutched up when it mattered most.
And this is the crazy thing. It was around this time last year that this team fully collapsed. It was road to MSI where they were up 2 games, they get reverse swept and then just swept, and then their MSI dream had died. This time around, they did not lose hope. They actually managed to stick in it, and I think Coach O and Mowgli there deserve a whole lot of props, because the bounce back from that last loss against BLG, where honestly it looked like they were floundering in the draft, this last game, so much better out of Hanwha Life Esports.
And they get the extra seed for the LCK at Worlds. The rewards are huge here.
Oh man, just reeling. I didn't think that this was going to be the outcome, because BLG's Golden Road, it looked almost set in stone. Here in Daejeon, there is now 2 people that have managed to hoist all of the Riot trophies now, and it is Zeka and Zeus.
And it's amazing to see these players establishing a new legacy here on Hanwha Life Esports. 2 players from T1 established.
자, 이제 2016 Now that was Zeus, the Oppo Finals MVP of 2026 Mid-Season Invitational. It is time to close out the 2026 MSI. And before we do so, we would like to thank the city of Daejeon and all of you for being such incredible hosts over the past few weeks. And to all the fans who have been with us during this entire journey, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Subin. Thank you, Jisun. And thank you, Hanwha Live Esports. On behalf of the LCK fans, it's a beautiful day for them here today in Daejeon. What an amazing recovery. What an amazing comeback. After failing short against BLG earlier in the competition, they managed to do it. It took 5 games back to back here for them to finally do it, but they did, Dagda.
And even within that game 5, there was moments where BLG pushed them to the edge. But when you have the caliber of players that Hanwha does, you don't blink, you stand tall, you fight back, and you raise trophies.
And how important is it for the LCK to have another team that can be clutch in those best of 5s? That doesn't fall flat when things look hard or when a game looks a little bit dire. Something that we always associate with T1. We've always wondered, is it the org, is it the players? And right now it's feeling like the players because it was Zeus and Guma who were bringing it home in the final game, who were the difference maker in the key moments of the series.
One of the craziest things about this series to me is last year when Viper was on HLE, it was Viper Life Esports. They played through him over and over again. And people thought when Guma joins the team, oh, he can be this weak side teammate. But what did we see in the games today? We saw him accumulating massive leads over Viper in 2v2s and again hoisting an international trophy.
And we saw him get the best out of a matchup that didn't work the first time. We saw him get the best against Viper, against the guy who can do it all. And in the end, it is Hanwha Life Esports prevailing. And I do appreciate the fact that at the beginning of the year, we were looking at Genji, we were looking at T1, but Hanwha Life clutched it in the end. It's not going to be the golden road this time around for BLG. But this sets up this team amazingly for the rest of the season.
It's a ton of promise, and I gotta give credit to you, Jat. You said Raid Boss picks.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was gonna happen. But it was Raid Boss picks. It was not mages in the bot lane. The exact opposite of what I said. And I think that they're objectively OP on paper, so the fact that HLE found a way to get this win without needing to over-rely on those picks just makes it even more impressive.
Bot lane mages, Guma lost with Ziggs, Viper lost with Mel. They were 0-2. Zeus was able to withstand whatever pressure Bin would try to apply to him in the early game and then carry in the late game. And then also the meaningful win for HLE in front of this home crowd in what has been an elusive tournament. Only SKT and Gen G have won MSI for the LCK before this, and HLE put their names with them.
And also such a meaningful tournament for that man in the mid lane for them. Zeka playing against his old organization, managing to take the win. First series win ever against Knight, a man who was doubted when Fearless came into the meta. They didn't think he'd be able to evolve to become the player he has, but it feels like every single time Zeka is doubted, he demolishes that wall. He won Worlds off the back of that. Now he stands tall with every title available to him in the Riot Circuit just resting in his hands.
And what a glow up. We talked about how much he's expanded that champion pool. Game 1, it was the stability of new champions. It was the Orianna. Game 5 in the clutch, it's back to comfort. It's the depth of the champion pool that he gets to save those picks for later, to use them when they're the most optimal, to show up when it matters most. And again, that's the development you want to see, especially if you're an HLE fan. You can see it on their faces how much this means. Seeing this glow up, seeing the success of this team, knowing now that this team can be a contender at Worlds, a team that could go the distance at international competition.
And I do want to highlight how impressive it is for a team that is regarded as one of the best in the world, a team that other teams have their eyes on when it comes to clutch moments like this at international tournaments. The fact that they can manage to make those small improvements with the little time that they have after failing against a team that they faced off against, defeating them when it matters the most, they can stand proud today. For you guys, what do you think it came down to? We've talked about the draft, but surely it's more than this.
I mean, part of it is they came prepared. Look at these. You don't print these in 25 seconds. Like, they were ready with these custom jerseys, 5 signatures, all the names on the back. I do think the drafts were important, but I think there is just a special quality about Guma. I feel like anytime the pressure is high, he stays so steady and really elevates his game in the most crucial moments.
And it was the same case at Worlds, like that. People were doubting him. He ended up being the finals MVP. He stands tall again here today, being a clutch factor of his team's victory.
And I think it says a lot, because I think it is the two XT1 members that are the standouts for me. The members that oftentimes kind of live in the shadow of Faker, but they don't have Faker to be clutch anymore, and it's their own merit that they relied on today. Gumayushi, incredible across the board, but for me, it was Zeus. The rivalry with Bin, the nail is in the coffin, the coffin's in the ground, the dirt is on top of it. This man demolished Bin across the board with drafts, with the way he was playing, with the ability to control that lane. Bin had some good moments, but Zeus dictated the majority of this series.
And you need a top laner who can do it all.
We have gone the distance here in Daejeon, and let's see who has the energy left in the tank to lift this trophy. Here as well as Knight does get himself out of the way. The briefcase doesn't land onto Viper as the pop blossom does come down. Sees some assistance stolen. They get on top of the misfortune, but at what cost? Gumayushi trying to dash away from Bin. He is put down to his GA. Shun pops back up again, but Guma flashes out. Now Bin looks to get on top of him, but he dashes out of the way. And this is what a team fight looks like when Gumayushi stays alive. HLE will look for even more as Kanavi celebratorily ults underneath this inner turret, and I think they may have done it. Hanwha Live Esports may have just ended the Golden Road. Hanwha Live Esports, they've already done first stand, and they'll do MSI as well.